This is the Renaissance Men podcast. It's time to go big or go home. Now, here is your host, Stuart Garrett.
Good evening and welcome. We've made it to episode 200 of the Renaissance Men podcast. I am your host, Stuart Garrett, and this is going to be a celebration of Renaissance Men past, present, and future. There he is. I'm multitasking tonight. I'm babysitting and entertaining the nation. So there we go. What could possibly go wrong? Jimmy, forgive me. I'm going to forego my usual introduction with you. I'm going to come to the box above me, Mr. Michael Seddon. How are you, sir? Let's get a suitable reaction. There we go. There we go. That's enough of that. Seddon, how are you, my friend?
Not bad, but during the intro, I had a realization about how stupid I am. I was reading the show notes. Yeah, there's show notes. And I was thinking, what does we made it to 200 mean? And as you said, we've made it 200. And I remembered, oh, that's why I'm here. Of course, that's what it means. Yeah. So like, since I was last on here, a lot of brain cells seem to have dissipated and I can't understand basic concepts anymore. Yeah.
Well, lovely to have you back, my friend. And yes, Lacey in my corner to my up there. Lacey, how are you, my friend? Let's get you a reaction. I'm going to go with an air horn for Lacey. There we go. Lacey, how are you, my friend?
Well, when my body's not trying to kill me, wonderful.
Excellent. Excellent. And well, it's lovely to have you both here. Obviously, Renaissance Men alumni of old, now of Pop Culture Productions. We will pimp your wares later on in the show, but indulge me whilst I do bring in my good friend, my good brother, Jimmy the Saint. There he is.
Hey, there's the children. Stu, thank you for having me. It's the crossover that people didn't know they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember
DC versus Marvel?
Yeah, when you were a kid and you were watching Spider-Man and the Hulk turned up or Daredevil turned up or something like that, you're like, yeah, crossover. That's us. We've got it.
When Tom Selleck was in Murder, She Wrote and vice versa. That's my favourite crossover ever. Oh, yeah, Magnum's in Murder, She Wrote. Yeah.
Playing Magnum.
Yeah. It is a proper crossover. I believe, if I remember rightly, it's been a long time. Fletcher goes to Hawaii and, of course, death follows.
Oh, wow. She goes on a vacation. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did they bang?
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Higgins gets involved as well, and it's a hot three-way.
Oh, right over that typewriter.
Yeah.
She's banging away.
She awesome. Was. You will notice the chat at the bottom. I added that. I don't know if it'll work, but it's working, of course. But I don't know if it does it look good. Can people read it? I'm not sure, but
I haven't seen any chat yet.
Okay, well you can't see it. The viewers at home can see it.
Oh, can they?
It's not all you, Jimmy. It's not all you.
Yeah,
no, that's fine.
It means I don't have to keep clicking people's chat up. It's on there all the time. So yeah, it looks good. Let's welcome those in the chat because we've got some early birds. Neil J as always. Well, I'm highlighting the chat. I can't get out of the habit. Sorry.
It's covering your face as well, Stu. Your beautiful face.
That's fine. Neil, welcome as always. Colin, Lord Doolin's in the chat. Welcome, Lord. He says, "Wow, a full strength squad. That it is. Renaissance Men of old, of your." Colin also says it's an all-star lineup. I like that. Like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Let's hope we're playing some amateurs tonight, then, like they were as well.
And Miss Phoenix, welcome, Miss Phoenix. First thing she heard was hot three-way. Well, there you go. That's us.
And she was away, and she was in. We had her at hot three-way.
Yeah.
He said, I'm staying all night.
I still think we do look like it's my favorite. It's one of my favorite comments ever. We look like a transitioning person from. If you go from me to Lacey, me to Jimmy to Sen to Lacey, it's like I don't know someone going through a very dark period of their life. Do you know what I mean?
With the
obviously, I'm the youngest. Yeah, I'm the youngest.
And there's a lot of hair transitioning going on there as well, isn't there? You could trace like hair
Yeah.
growth through the years there.
Yeah, it probably works better the other way, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah, it's the other way round, isn't it?
Yeah.
With someone being ill.
Yeah. Fair play.
So
my future.
Philadelphia.
Yeah. Let's move on. Right. There we are. That's our intro. We're not going to get too deep into the weeds of what our lives have been this week. I think we both say, Jimmy, that we ain't done much. I think is a fair assumption.
All I've seen is my children throw up mucus, and I
Oh,
don't
nice.
think that's something to celebrate.
Okay. Yeah.
It's gross.
It'll be a remiss of me to not ask the two guests above. Have you had any highlights from this week? Anything?
I'll let
No.
Lacey
What?
tell his woes of body failures.
What's up, Lacey?
Yeah.
Come on. What's up?
So-
What are you breaking?
Went for my usual 6-monthly diabetes blood test, and for some reason they decided that they wanted to do a blood pressure,
Mm.
and then found out that my heart is trying to explode,
Oh my good God.
as I am running at pretty much top end hypertension level 2.
Oh.
Yay! Oh, do you know what? Talking about high blood pressure, I had high blood pressure recently, and we did a live blood pressure reading on the
Did.
show, didn't we, Stu? Have you got a blood pressure reader at home, Lacey?
Excellent. Well,
Permanently connected.
keep us posted.
Mine's down there somewhere.
I'll just keep it ready just in case. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I start getting that twinge.
I felt bad because we were recording that night, and Lacey had to spend about 3 hours of his life explaining to me what blood pressure actually was, because I had no idea. And he was doing the numbers, and I'm going, "Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know."
Yeah.
What numbers were you at, Lacey?
The last time I did it was yesterday, because I haven't done it today. Yesterday was 168 over 118.
Right.
Is it
Okay.
actually was bad?
Yeah, you want to be under 120 and under 80, isn't it? Something like
Yeah.
that. So the bottom one's really high there. You got that really high, that one.
Top
Well
trump,
done.
Jimmy.
Well
Jeez.
done.
I'm winning this game.
Yeah, winning at life.
Well, hopefully we won't cause you any undue stress, Lacey, this evening. We're here to relax and I don't know, just take
Be
the pressure.
fair, that'll make an amazing short though, won't it? If he goes
Oh,
online.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Boom.
Oh yeah.
No, never mind.
Lovely comment, Phoenix there. 3 cheers for hypertension.
I said it does make me chuckle that you had nothing about blood pressure because you're like the highest candidate for some kind of stress.
That's why I don't know anything about it, Stu.
Right.
Because what I don't know won't hurt me. Yeah, ignorance is
Okay.
bliss. Like,
No, I like it. I like
The
it.
last time I saw a doctor, a real life doctor, was over 25
Which
years
doctor?
ago, and I don't intend to see another one soon. And I only went to see him because I had a broken leg, and I needed the note they give you to sign you for work for a week. But other than that,
Is that really the last time you saw a doctor? 25
yeah, I
years
mean,
ago?
I've seen a nurse because I had a nurse do my COVID jabs during COVID time. But even going into COVID, I hadn't had a doctor since I thought, well, probably about 15 years when I moved. I just never bothered getting another one. I thought I'll get one when I need one. And when we got into COVID times, I kind of went, I think I probably need to be on a list somewhere to get a jab. So I was trying to, oh God, this is terrible. It tells you how bad my life is. I was trying to get a doctor, and every doctor like I approached, and when I say approached, online I approached them. Everyone said you need like proof of ID, passport, things like that. I don't have any photo ID in my life either. So in the end, I kind of signed up for what I think is an internet doctor.
Ah, nice. Dr. Nick from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
I think it's effectively that. And then randomly, I got a text about a month later saying, go to this surgery and get a jab. And it wasn't the surgery that this doctor's is, because I don't think there is a surgery. I think it's just
Warehouse.
made up. Yeah. But I went in,
Back of a bin.
they injected me. I did it again about a year later. And yeah, so I may or may not
Now
have a real
addicted
doctor.
to
I don't know.
heroin.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Lovely comment from Miss Phoenix. A real life doctor as opposed to a pretend one in dress up. Well, I think we've discovered it was a pretend one in dress
Quite
up.
probably. Yeah.
They're the best ones. aren't they?
I'll tell you what, if anyone out there is willing to dress up as a doctor and give him his 40-year-old prostate check, just write in the comments.
Mm.
Just put hashtag Seddon anus and he'll find his way to you.
Trending now.
Number one trend.
It's
Yeah.
funny you mention that because I've noticed, and this is this part of the show where I do like to bring my health concerns to you, Jimmy, don't you? So I'm glad I can share that with the other two. They might not be quite so thrilled about it. But I found myself
Is
going
it,
to.
is it anus related?
Well, no, it is prostate related. I find myself
Okay.
going to the
Brilliant.
toilet a lot of an evening. Should I be concerned?
Yes.
Wee or poo?
Because it could be a case of diabetes,
Okay.
bad prostate,
Mm,
cancer,
okay.
All the best ones.
instant
Bring in-
death.
Bring in the
Okay.
positivity.
I'm glad I
I-
asked.
Are you drinking more?
I do. See, what I do is I have. Well, I have a drink. I have a fizzy pop every evening, and it does feel like that's getting later and later, and like closer to my bedtime. So maybe it's just that.
Because I do think like lots of people rush to what is medically going wrong with me.
Yeah.
But if you're drinking more, you're probably going to wee more. So always factor that in.
Mm, yeah, what goes in must come out. I
And
suppose.
how are the wheeze? Is it like you're having to push, or it's a struggle to just get out?
No.
Or is
Or
it
pull.
slow?
It's all good. The flow is pretty good.
Because
like
I think
a
if there's a prostate issue, I think it pushes up against your bladder, and I don't think it makes you wee more. Doesn't it make you like it's a bit harder to get it out?
I don't know.
I
Perhaps
mean,
you should
with the
go.
prostate, it's you wee more often, but as you say, it's more of a pain wee.
Mm.
Hmm.
Oh,
Do you want
I
me
get the pain.
to email my fake doctor, Stu, and find out for you?
Please do.
Dr. Nick,
I'll see,
he
I'll
does
see if I
come
can
to
find-
houses.
yeah, I'll see if I can find that website again and see whether he's got any advice for you.
Thank you very much. Most appreciated.
He
Metal
turns
Maniac,
up in a
chat.
leather jacket.
Welcome to Metal Maniac. Happy 200. Thank you, sir. I spent a lovely couple of days in Preston with Metal Maniac this week. So, yeah, good times had by all. Miss Phoenix, this doesn't sound like a normal GP experience, Seddon. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But anyway, enough of prostates and diabetes and all that. Let's discuss the many ways that people can support the Renaissance Man with a lovely graphic. Here it is. Of course, you can head over. You're watching us on YouTube, so give us a like and subscribe. Be much appreciated. And if you so wish, you can head over to kofi.com/RenaissanceCast and buy myself and Jimmy a figurative cup of coffee, and we'll take that £3 and pump it into the podcast. Yes, so of course, anything that you so wish to do is greatly appreciated. Who's rustling in the background? Someone?
That'd be
I'd
me.
say Lacey. Yeah, I
Is
can
it-
tell.
He's checking that. He's checking his blood pressure.
I was about to, yeah. Just in case.
I was checking my prostate.
So that's that.
Stu, can I ask a Kofi question?
Of course.
I don't. You know, there are lots of things,
Kingston?
myriad of things on the internet. Well, that as well, but there's a myriad of things on the internet I don't understand. So when they donate money, can they leave a message?
They can, yeah.
Because I just wondered, like, has anyone ever said, "I'll buy you a coffee," but not Jimmy, or vice versa?
No, not yet. But you
No.
would expect so, wouldn't you? Really?
I'd love that.
Yeah, like a bit of
Hate messages, hate
Yeah.
messaging.
yeah. I'll buy you a coffee.
Yeah.
But throw it in Jimmy's face. That kind of thing.
Isn't that
that's
what the internet's
Thank
for?
Yeah, it is. It is, Lacey. Yeah, hatred.
Yeah, who wouldn't pay £3 for the ability to troll someone? I think
Yeah,
that's the
have
way
some of that.
forward. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
so.
that's a good point. Actually, maybe we should start charging for.
We'll read out your
Horrible.
messages of hate if you give us money. Yeah.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
Hell, I'll come along and voice them for you.
Oh,
Give it a real level of hatred.
it would. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Lacey.
You mind your blood pressure, Lacey, when you do
I
that.
think if we get you doing your prostate, Stu, we'll get some.
A live
serious-
exam. Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot Benji's in there.
He doesn't
I
know
need-
what prostate. is.
No, but I need to mind my P's and Q's tonight because I've got my son in the background.
That's all right. I'll count the swearing for you.
It's all right.
I don't think
He's got his headphones on, mate. He's not
He's
listening.
dead to the world. He's
He
not
has to
dead.
hear you. The rest of the week, he don't care.
Benj. No, it's good.
He's,
We're good.
he's watching much worse stuff than us.
Yep.
He's found Pornhub.
Yeah. Shit. Anyway, right. Usually at this time we we promote some of the stuff we've been doing on our channel, but I want to talk about pop culture productions and what you're doing on your channel, gentlemen. So this is your time to pimp what you do. All right, Benj. So
See, he perked up when he heard our channel. Look at him, popular with the kids.
before
Already
I do
heard
that,
How many kids?
let me just get my my screen share up and tell us what pop culture. I'm so sorry, I need my teeth in. Pop culture productions is all about.
What is it all about, Lacey?
What's it all about?
It's us talking gubbins about music and comic books.
Yeah, we
And it generally is music these days, isn't we? We're on we're on a long run of music only, and the comic books are coming back. Time has been the enemy for us, and also the fact that we pre-recorded about 6 months worth of music once, so we're still working our way through that, aren't we? At some point, I think in April, one arrives on the channel which says this is the first one we're recording of the new year, and that's how far ahead we got. So but yeah, it is just very much you and me. I'll just notice there's no bloody thumbnail on that little Sims Gorilla one. Rubbish. I need sacking. Yeah, it's just me and Lacey like listening to music.
It was just
brilliant. Good.
Don't worry, it's all good.
I thought I'd found at my YouTube duties there.
Your one job, Sen.
Yeah, my one job. Yeah, it is. It's fun, isn't it, mate? We get together a couple of times a week, and like one of the weird things about coming on here and doing this with you guys again was being live, because everything we do is we pre-record, so we get a chance to cut out all the horribly horrific racist things that Lacey says before it goes up online. But yeah, I know. But you know, it is. It's a combination of stuff we like, in it. Quite often we bring stuff for each other, which we think the other one hasn't heard, to see if we can get like a pop out of them or get some like out of it. But most of it comes from people actually sending in recommendations, and sometimes they're good.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, that's where I can imagine that's the most rewarding part, you know. There's the boy as well. Hello.
Yeah,
how's he doing, by the way? Is he all right?
He is becoming
He's
absolute
grown.
pain in the arse, and you know, a terrible 13-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you got to look forward to, Sue.
No.
Teenagers, they're wonderful.
He's good.
But yeah, no, he's good. He's all right.
Good old boy.
Yeah, pain as
What
always.
What do you find is the most popular stuff you listen to? I saw Rammstein a while ago was getting a lot of views, and is it what is it that brings people to your channel? What's the unique selling point of you two reacting to these songs, do you think?
I don't think we have a unique selling point, and that's not to do us down. I think that is the truth of it. Is like there are tons of reaction channels, and I think probably like people come for the bands, like you said about like kind of what's popular. The stuff that really seems to hit for us, and luckily we really like it, is when we do Japanese metal. Like that tends to be stuff that people really sort of buy into, and to be honest, it tends to be the videos where people stay. Maybe because we like it, but yeah, I don't know. I think our unique selling point is two white men talking about music. Yeah, that's a unique selling point, isn't it? Yeah.
I think the fact we do like whole albums of stuff at times as well, because a lot of them don't do like the weird album tracks. It's like with the Rammstein stuff, we've gone through all of Rammstein. We're doing Radiohead. We've done.
In fact, it'll probably be about 8 years before it gets on the channel. But we just finished a Radiohead album this week, didn't we? We finished recording it on Tuesday.
But it's that thing of like
2026.
Yeah.
So it's like most of them will jump on whatever the singles are and stuff. But it's like we will sort of go, because both of us are more album people.
Yeah.
We want to do the whole thing and like, you know, give love to those sort of album tracks that things don't get sort of shared massively, and sort of go look beyond the singles. But it's like weird stuff that we did. It's like the Filthy 15 as one that was just like, here are the 15 songs that Tipper Gore and her crazy religious cult thought was evil and going to corrupt the American youth. And then we looked at it 30 odd years later going, it's not really that.
What the hell was she thinking? Yeah. She's banning like Prince, Madonna, Cyndi Lauper, and you're just going, come on, Miguel, you're a lunatic. I think almost like our reverse selling point, but the thing I like about the most is that there was bits where, you know, we've done songs that are big, but more because we're interested in. But I think our unique selling point is we'll do anything. And when I say we'll do anything, like a lot of the time, I think we're really doing like tiny bands, aren't we? And little songs. And you kind of know when we're doing them that you're lucky if you get sort of 10, 15 views on those ones. But we just record because we find it fun. It's a nice, the honest truth is, it's a nice way for me and Lacey to hook up twice a week, sit there, talk about music. Sometimes, if we're honest, sometimes we never even get around to recording, do we? We start talking about something that's not the song we're supposed to be doing, and then 3 hours later, we go,
jump off because you're coming home.
Yeah, we were supposed to be recording tonight, weren't we? But I think like we've always said, while it's fun, we'll keep on doing it. And one of the things that I've really loved about doing it is I've found my love of music again. I think for a very, very long period of time, I got stuck in that. These are the 25 bands that I listen to. Why would I ever try anything else? Because I know these are good. Why waste my time? And now we kind of almost force ourselves to listen to anything and everything. And I mean, I've found in the last, how long we do it? About almost 2 years now.
2 years, yeah.
Some bands that I never would have found that I absolutely love, and that I spend most of my time annoying my missus or anyone in my family by playing them really loud to them. Maximum the Hormone, a Japanese metal band, is one my mum particularly hates, but I'll go round us. I'll go out in the garden and have a cigarette, and then with my phone, I'll take over a TV and bang that on full blast, so she has to listen to it while I'm outside. But yeah, it's great fun. Great.
I know what you mean about listening to something new, because you do get stuck listening to the same stuff because you love it. I said this on the show the other week. I went and worked for a day at a shop called Best Days in Colchester, which is run by two of my friends, Steve and Jez. It's a vintage clothes and record shop and coffee shop as well. So I'm just sat in there using their Wi-Fi, working and having coffees, and they're just putting on. They've got TikTok, channel, and they were listening to a new record every day. So you're just hearing all this new stuff all throughout, and you're like, "What's this?" And one day I worked there, that he was playing a Van Morrison, and I didn't know loads of the songs. And another day I was in there, and it was Billy Joel, and again there was loads of songs that I just didn't know, because if I'm like, Alexa, play Piano Man or whatever, it's like not listening to all the other songs that I haven't heard before, and you do go, oh, actually, I should listen more. So I completely understand that.
Well, we said again, we try and do albums, but they take a little bit longer for us to record and a little bit longer to release. And you say about those tracks you miss. These days, I mean, quite often when I'm at work, I'll sort of talk about an album, and most people I work with go, "What's an album?" Because all they listen to now is the single or like the kind of the song that comes out. But there's just so many great album tracks out there that never get like any airtime anywhere because they're an album track in general. But
with like Rammstein, when we've done the Rammstein stuff, most of your favorite songs have ended up being the album tracks. Yeah, which you would have never have known. No, if you'd just gone, right, here are the Rammstein music videos, fill your boots. And that's the thing, is like, I think one of our biggest Rammstein ones is on an album track for like viewers, and it's just like really random, but it's like clearly, people have love for these songs because they live with the albums, because one of those things of being a metalhead, we are very much still an album sort of culture. So like the rock and metal stuff will get people coming in for the songs that aren't just the singles, because people do still go out and buy CDs and stuff in that genre. That's one of the few genres that people are actually still buying physical for, or will buy the whole album even if it's digital. So
one of the things we've had to learn though is to be thick-skinned. Because you learn early on a reaction channel that if you don't like anything, doesn't matter what it is, people are going to come at you. And the first time we learned it was Nightwish, wasn't it, Chris? And you had the audacity to say, wasn't really for me, found it a bit boring.
How dare you?
I spent the next 4.5 weeks of my life replying to comments about, look, it's fine, he's allowed to not like it. But yeah, as I say, you do have to be a bit thick-skinned. And what we've always said on it is we'll never lie. I mean, we could just say, oh, everything's brilliant, we love everything, but I don't know. The point of it is to listen to it, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Yeah. And I'd say, I don't know how you feel, Lace, like the ones that you don't like sometimes are interesting because you can, like, when you don't like something, you've probably got a lot to say about it. The ones you do like are interesting because you've got a lot to say about it because you liked it. Probably the hardest ones are ones where you just go, it was okay. Because really, what can you say about it? You just go,
Yeah, you
Whatever,
want something to be
but-
amazing or crap. It's like us with
Yeah,
the films
yeah.
we watch or the TV shows. You got to have
Yeah.
amazing or crap. Otherwise,
Yeah.
as you say, it's meh. So
Yeah.
basically, the show's like a modern day Top of the Pops, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and
Yeah. As long as the chart is
Sav-
from like the 2000s.
Savile years.
I was going to say let's
Now
do
then,
different
now
genders,
then.
but yeah,
I do think what Lacey was saying was key, because I think your two unique selling points is number one, your knowledge, because I think you both know a great deal about music, more than I would ever be able to comprehend. So I think that comes over very well in your videos, and also what Lacey was saying about the albums. I love it when you did the take an album and then react to each of the songs on the album. I think that's a real unique kind of great selling point because you can really go deep into it, can't you? I think. And tell that story of the album as well.
And do you do the album in one episode? So separated?
No, we separate it, and I'll be honest. The main reason why we separate it is the other peril of doing reactions is copyright strikes and not being able to release stuff. And we've had a few here and there, haven't we, where we've recorded it and we just can't get it. We can't get him to clear copyright. So if we split it down, at least that way we can potentially do 75% of the albums. Luckily, we've never had an album like where we haven't been able to get it all out. But there is potentially some stuff coming soon where it is going to be the whole album in one video, because I have recorded a solo one that you didn't fancy doing, Lacey, and I haven't yet got the confidence to release it because it's me on my own, and I always get a bit nervy when it's you on your own. So, but yeah, I think we might try and do a few full album ones. One of the reasons why we also have to split as well sometimes is we have to cut the recordings into a shorter period of time, and sometimes, because I don't know whether this comes across, but sometimes someone gets a bit carried away and talks a lot. So actually getting through an album that's 40 minutes can take us about 9 hours sometimes.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Don't know what you mean, Seddon.
When we separated, me and Stu thought, oh well, our shows will be shorter now. They're not. you just fill the time. I don't think it's just you. I think it's
nature abhors a vacuum, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, you just fill it.
It was always Jimmy. I don't think I said the channel URLs for people to go and sub. I've put it in the chat. It's youtube.com/Pop Culture Productions.
I'm so glad you knew it, Stu, because if you'd have asked me to say it, it would have been me.
Go check it out.
We're not the best at publicizing ourselves and knowing that sort of stuff.
You should
we
be.
Record, we release, and move on.
So I know for a fact there's some metal fans in the chat, let alone some music fans. So go check out Pop Culture Productions. You've also got a X account and Facebook group as well. So if you want to get involved in the discussion and whatnot, then go to those places. I'm assuming it's all Pop Culture Productions as the.
Let's go with yes. And assume that is right, but I'll give them to you later. You can put them in the comments and
just search for that, and I'm sure you'll find it. I'm sure you'll find it. So lovely stuff. What's happening?
I just read Miss Phoenix comment. I think that's fantastic.
Don't worry about not knowing the URL. So I forgot my postcode today. Yeah, she is.
I feel for you. I'm very much the same.
And that was when she was drunk in a gutter, so she couldn't get her way home as well. So that was doubly bad.
I like Rock's comment. As an occasional stand-in for Jimmy, I would have settled for a Polaroid stuck on the headboard. Just saying. Oh, okay. Rock wanted some presents on Jimmy's headboard. I get it now. I get it.
On my headboard?
No, I guess in the background to show he was part of the Renaissance Men.
Oh, Rock.
Yeah.
Right.
The Rock.
Yeah. Surely we can get a little picture of him up somewhere.
Sure.
Stick him in the middle. Get a clip from one of his YouTube videos and stick him in the middle, frozen for 2 hours.
Welcome, Rocky. I haven't said hello.
Yeah.
And he also says, "I'll never stop listening to Val Dunican." There we go.
I mean, we've not reacted to any, so maybe Lacey, get that on the list.
There you go.
Yeah,
I haven't watched the Uncle Cracker video yet. Did you like it? Although I don't know if I want you to spoil it, because I kind of had a soft spot for that song in the early.
Hang on, what's this, Uncle Cracker? I don't know this.
It was yesterday's video, and there was going to be one today, but I left late from work. But That was one that the boy bought. So when we have Will on, we let Will do the picks, and he picks all the songs that come on. Although I've got a horrible feeling his father may be involved in some of the picks.
Not my. I don't tell him what to
Bad
pick,
influence.
but he may have heard it many a times because of being around me, and then he knows it.
Stu, did you like Uncle Cracker because they did the X Factor theme tune in WWF or WWE? Shall I say?
Did they?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, I don't know why I came across him. I think because he wasn't he associated with Limp Bizkit?
No, He was Kid Rock.
Kid Rock. Apologies, Kid Rock. I did mean Kid Rock, but yeah, I don't know how I got into him, but I really like that song.
Lacey, can I borrow your blood pressure meter? They're talking Kid Rock again.
You're not a fan of Kid Rock, said?
Oh, I don't think we've released it yet, but there's a Kid Rock video either out or due to come out, and I give my true and full feelings for Kid Rock, and I give my true and full feelings for Lacey's better half, Sarah, who made me listen to the Kid Rock song.
My favourite release from Kid Rock recently was when he shot a load of Bud Light cans in response to Dylan Mulvaney, the trans activist's face being put on the Bud Light cans. Did you?
Yeah.
We shot. Okay, right.
Yeah, he shot the shit out of a load of Bud Light cans in protest.
I had visions of a t-shirt gun with Bud cans coming out of it.
No, well, since I'm a gun-toting Republican now, me and Kid Rock are like that.
Well, funny enough, that comes up in our discussion about Kid Rock. Doesn't not you, Jimmy, but
crazy Trumpism.
How we feel about Kid Rock, or how I feel about Kid Rock. So I say, truth is, and no spoilers, Stu, but absolute spoilers. I confess to the Uncle Cracker album, which I do own, being one of the 2 worst albums I've ever bought in my life. So,
if I had to choose what you would have gone with, that's probably what I would have said. You would have said about that. Yeah.
I used it as a sort of like a warning to members of the public to go try and listen to the album before you buy it, because sometimes you'll get stung for 13 quid for absolute bullshit.
Oh dear. Before we move on to the weekend, please indulge me whilst I just promote mine and Benji's little venture, which is Big Egg Little Egg. Benj.
Oh, you used the look at that. Yeah, look at those logos.
Benj, what do you think about? Do you enjoy doing Big Egg Little Egg? You need to speak up. They don't say up, just say yes. Yes, okay.
Just say yes.
That's where I've got to work with people.
I like the way you've made your child forcibly bald on the logo.
Are you a fan of the egg images? Do you like being an egg? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a look into your future, isn't it? Really. Yeah. Poor old boy. Yeah.
Just like his mother.
Yeah, we enjoy the videos, don't we, mate? Yes, we do. Yeah,
answer that will that.
It makes for great YouTube content, I'm telling you. Just a mute child. No, it's funny. Point him in front of a camera, and he comes alive.
He does.
It's very odd.
Do you do those ones live, Stu, or are they recorded?
No, they are recorded, and I have to heavily edit them just in case.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, something.
I just remember the last. I mean, again, like Will's got like a few years on him, obviously, like he's 13, isn't he, Lacey? But I do remember the last time we recorded one with Will, and he found it hilarious every time you tried to speak, making really annoying screeching noises in your face. I enjoyed it quite a lot, and I might keep them in their videos when I release them.
Oh dear, kids, from the mouse of babes. Our latest video was me and Benj playing a bit of Goat Simulator. It's good fun. I strangely was I liked that game, and it is basically just you being a goat and doing crazy things.
Didn't realise they'd got to a third one.
Yeah, I was going to say I remember playing the first one quite a lot, but I didn't even know there was a 2.
I don't think there is. I think that's part of the joke. I think it's I think it's 1, and then it went to 3 for some reason.
I actually bought Goat Simulator 2 weeks ago after watching you do yours. Not 4 days ago. I've seen Goat Simulator so much on YouTube and always thought it looked brilliant. And then it was one of my son's 5th birthdays. I was like, right, I'm getting him Goat Simulator. And I've been watching him and my other son play it. And it's great fun to watch Goat Simulator.
Yeah.
And I've had a little play as well.
It's bizarrely quite fun, just headbutting innocent passers-by as a goat or other animals. As,
Well, and
Ben
grabbing
likes to-
things. You
Yeah,
grab things
licking
with your
things.
tongue, and
Yeah, it's great fun. Miss Phoenix mentions the Untitled Goose Game. A bit about that later on, I think.
Foreshadowing. She's seen the show notes.
someone has actually played a
Actually
video
might.
game for once.
Holy shit. So yeah, please go check out Big Egg Little Egg. Yeah, thank you. That'd be great. Right, that's enough of that. I think it's about time we went into the Week in Geek, really. So let's have a little sting and let's head into the Week in Geek. Right, gentlemen. I think I'll let our guests go first. Sid, I'll come to you.
Hi.
Keep saying Sid, and then you don't know which one to come in. Sid, is there anything, you know what the deal is with the Week in Geek? Is there anything that you've been up to in the past 2 years?
No, not really. Didn't
narrow it down.
Just gave up on life and
Just
sat in the corner
Collected raw
crying. Yeah. Couldn't watch anything because they were in the way of the telly. Well, I think you'd mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. Power World. And
Power World.
speaking of video games, I actually delved quite deep into Power World, but I downloaded it like I do most games and thought I'll never play that. That will just sit on the hard drive of the computer for the rest of my life. But I think it was you sort of saying about how Ark-like it is, and Ark is one of my many computer game obsessions. So I thought, I'll jump in and give it a go. And I think you're really, really spot on. Like, it's that open world survival game, and it does a lot of open world survival game things, but it's that integration which I know has some controversy around the Pokemon-esque characters that you're actually collecting. That is a huge selling point. They are fun to see. They're Andrea has been watching it over my shoulder and going nuts at me when I'm doing exactly what's happening on the screen now, attacking one of them chickens. Right. But I don't know. It's got a lot of play in it for an early access. I mean, it has an end game, it has an end point at the moment, but I think there is so much stuff in there for you to do. I mean, I'm playing it on Game Pass, so effectively it's sort of free with the subscription, but you do like the chopping down trees to get wood, the breaking down rocks to get stone. But I think what it really thrives is when you actually capture the pals, and I think that's probably a Pokemon trademarked word, but whatever they actually refer to it in there, they actually start doing stuff for you. So you can put them in the base, and then they'll actually start chopping down the trees for you, doing that. So you can actually build in this really good engine, so you can just go and enjoy the rest of the game, while all of the maybe the grindy stuff that you tend to have to do in these games is ostensibly done for you. And if you carry a load of those dudes on you, you can use them in fights, but also they give you character buffs. But I think it's a great game. Like and
this is the Pokemon ripoff that we had on the show not long ago. And what's it available on?
So you've got sorry, Sen, you go.
I was gonna say Xbox, PC. Is it available on PlayStation still? I haven't looked.
No, right. There are two PC versions as well. There's Steam and the Microsoft, the Game Pass Microsoft version as well.
So it's Xbox One.
Yeah, in old money, yes, Jimmy.
Yeah,
come on,
right. So, because here's the thing: when you showed it, Stu, I presumed it was some sort of like hacked together game by programmers who had released it online, because it looked like so much of a rip-off. I didn't think it could ever actually be released as a game.
No, it's
disc.
Isn't it like the fastest selling game on Steam for like the first fastest selling early access game on Steam ever? Like, so yeah, it's proper kind of, and I say a proper release, like early access tends to mean that they're releasing it before it's finished. So they've got it to a certain point, so they start creaming the cash in. So you buy it beforehand, and the intention is at one point it will be fully released, but probably with expanded stuff. So there'll probably be more things you can do in the game. But so far, it feels to me like there's enough play in it to really justify buying it, even in early access. And it doesn't seem very buggy to me either. And that's what you tend to get with these early access games. They're trying to work out the bugs, but it plays really well for me.
Yeah, I think so. And I think you could take away the the magical creatures that they have in it, the Pokemon rip-off creatures. I mean, it could be dinosaurs. You put dinosaurs in it, it is Ark, isn't it? But I mean, you could supplant the Pokemon type creatures with something else. I don't know, gnomes. I'm thinking outside the box. Something else.
I was just watching someone machine gun the shit out of a Pokemon in that
I know,
clip we saw. So that's something I haven't seen.
As Phoenix says in the chat, Pokemon don't own the copyright for magical creatures.
Well, and I think though, like where the kind, and having never played a Pokemon but sort of know enough about them, I think the one thing that it does do, where I do lean into maybe some of the criticism, is they make them really look like Pokemon, though, don't they? And you collect them with effectively a Pokeball. So they really are. But yeah, I mean, like I've never played a Pokemon game, but I've played loads of Pokemon-like games. So pre that, I was playing Cassette Beasts all the time, which is effectively Pokemon, but you're going around the world with a Walkman and you have to record the monsters you're fighting onto a cassette. And it sort of spoke to me because it reminded me of when I was a kid and had a Walkman. But yeah, like it's just damn good fun, I think.
I mean, that's Pikachu, isn't it? Let's be honest.
And you sort of said about the machine guns, Jimmy. Like so many of them, so you collect them and then you'll put them on your shoulder when you're running around, and they're the ones with the machine guns. So it's actually, let's go with a Pokemon on Pokemon violence. So
I like it.
Free, yeah. I mean, admittedly, you have to go around drubbing a lot of them to death with a club as well, but we'll put that to one side.
They need discipline in, though, don't they? They need to be told and warned what happens if they don't collect your wool.
And if they're not good enough to get in your stable of boys, then they have to be taken care of.
Exactly.
Pool balls in a sock.
Yeah.
Indeed, quite right. As Miss Phoenix says, it's only £20 on I guess Steam or Xbox. Well, no, it's part of your Game Pass subscription, as Sen says.
Yeah.
I think if you want to get it on Steam, then it's £20, which is a good price, I think.
Lovely.
I've said to you before, Stu, haven't I? Like, whenever sort of a game like this comes out, I go, well, what's the point of playing it? It's not Ark. And this is the first time that I've played a game like this where I've gone, I'll uninstall Ark. I've played enough of that. I'll play this now. So I think it's kind of kicked that habit. It's similar enough to be fun. It's different enough. I think it adds, as I said, it adds those wrinkles of what those pals, as they call him in that, like how they buff you and make the world a different place. Really, really good. Heartily recommend it.
Oh, that's lovely. The glowing review. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I would echo a lot of Seden's comments there. It's strangely compelling to play. I don't know why. But a lot of those
eating a chicken with a club, isn't it? That's the compelling
a lot
bit.
of it. Well, I think that is getting my rage out. Yeah, on little sheep and chickens. Yeah.
Talking of chicken stew, could we go on to what I've played this week?
Played?
Yes.
Played
Chickens.
Well,
okay.
Things have changed.
Duck,
Things have changed.
geese.
Okay. Not our smooth.
Things have changed.
Do you mean to say?
No, all right. No, we'll keep. That was a pretty good segue.
It's up there with bird news segues. Let's be honest.
Sorry if it was a little foul, but I thought we're sticking with the games. I've actually played a video game this week, and I never get. I see a lot of video games getting played, but this is the game. I had to play the video game because a lot of it is better if it's 2-player, and this is a game called Untitled Goose Game. It is the weirdest game I've played since a sex game that I played on the Commodore 64 when I was about 13, where you had to wiggle the joystick to make the man rub the woman's boobies. It was.
I want to hear more about that game.
Yeah, what was that called? I'll Google it now. I'll go on mute. I promise.
It probably could be called the Untitled Goosing Game.
It could have been. But this game is bizarre. It was purchased on the Switch by my family, and I just got called in the other day. It's got the weirdest soundtrack. You're playing a goose, and it's good if you have 2-player because 2 of you are playing the geese, and you have to just do various tasks around the town, like steal things, give things to people, annoy people, scare people. We completed it quite quickly, but then there's other tasks afterwards. Yeah. And it's actually really, really fun, but it is a bit annoying. It is annoying because if you drop something, it's hard to pick it up again. The controls aren't amazing. I don't quite get it. I don't know how it's a game. Again, it feels like it's one of those hacked together games just online, but we've got it on the Switch. So I presume it's official. Look at it. Look at it.
Me and the other half had this. I've got this on the PlayStation.
What? It's on the PlayStation?
Hours,
Yep, and it's on
have
PC
spent
and it's on
hours,
Xbox. Yeah.
hours just tormenting the gardener, stealing
does
his
look
hat
fun.
and lobbing it in the river, and getting
Yeah.
to the point where we literally have every item in the river.
It's
Bastard.
so annoying. It's so annoying. And I've watched people play it online because my sons have gone, oh, we need to know how to do this. Show us someone playing it online. And you're watching a guy go, I'm a goose, man. Yeah, I'm a goose. Just going nuts. You go, what is
It's
this?
funny you say that, Jimmy, because I've never played it, but I've watched probably about 30 hours of people playing it on YouTube.
But you know, it's good fun. I don't know how much it is.
But it's
I'd
free
rather
on
not know.
PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, it
I've got
is.
PS Plus. It's
Yeah.
free.
Was it free on
$20
Switch?
on Steam.
I
No,
don't-
it was about £75 on Switch. Get that gun out. Get that gun out.
Right. Well, it's on the Switch in his house, and do you know what? It's brought a lot of
nine
enjoyment
quid.
in the house.
Officially £9 on the
£9
Switch, by the way. Yeah,
£9
yeah.
on. If you've got
Yeah.
a Switch and you want to fancy playing a game with one of your kids or with your partner or whatever, it's a bloody good laugh, and you have to work together. It's good fun, isn't it, Lacey? Like, and it's said, if you've watched loads of it, like,
Oh, yeah.
I'd recommend
find it
Does sound
Untitled
good.
Goose Game.
Oh.
Great shout for you and Benj, I think, Stu.
Do you have two geese?
You have
Sorry.
geese.
Yeah,
One
Yes,
geese
you
per
have
player.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's
I like
better
it.
with
have-
two.
And when you said like £9, like even if you just get one evening's of fun out of it, £9's nothing for one evening of fun, is it?
no,
Like,
no.
wouldn't even buy you a burger in most places, would it? So yeah,
No.
brilliant.
No, that's a
value.
bargain. That's a
Yeah.
bargain. I'm pleased it's £9. Yeah, it's a great game. That's a recommendation from the Renaissance Men. Stu, if you haven't
Stamped.
played it,
I haven't. No, I know of it, but
Lacey's played it. I've played it.
Ben,
You're
do
up
you think he's
He's gone, mate. He's watching
He's
Goose Game
gone.
videos on YouTube.
the Renaissance Man is in good hands for the future. That's all I can say. Fuck me.
One of my sons calls it Duck Duck Goose. He's like, I want to play Duck Duck Goose. No, it's not called Duck Duck Goose. Like, it is.
Though
All
another
right.
one for the weird type of games that are strangely addictive, I Am Bread, where you literally are a piece of bread.
Yeah. I Am Bread.
Right.
Also,
And Octodad.
yes. What's the one I was thinking of? There's one where you're a fish. I think it's I Am Fish. I think
I
it's
was
made.
going to have a guess.
Yeah, I think it's made by Lacey's I Am Bread, not Lacey's I Am Bread, but you know what I mean. And you are a fish, same concept, but you're rolling in a fish bowl, and you got to get places. It's great stuff. Crazy games.
I think I've seen I Am Bread on YouTube actually. Yeah.
I just
go.
called it up, and it's just a picture of bread saying "I am bread," and I've
What
never
would you
wanted
need?
to buy a game as much as I do right now.
Oh, it's massively frustrating.
Yeah.
There we go. Miss Phoenix says on the PS5 library, free to play on Extra.
Yeah, Lacey
5 to
said
10
that.
quid on PC. Yeah. Loosey goosey.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. That's what I've been playing. I've actually played a game this week, and I've
Holy
brought
moly.
that to the table.
I as we're talking about what we've been playing, I purchased today. Yesterday. Helldivers 2. Has anyone played Helldivers 2? Lacey, I'm looking at you. Helldivers 2.
No, I have not played Helldivers.
Ooh.
I've
never
looked
heard
at
of it.
and I'm in an R-ring, but I'll wait for it to come on Plus.
It,
And then jump on
it might be one of those games that does come because it is a live service thing. You know, you buy into it and then they keep iterating on it for years.
Helldivers 2. Show us the game, Stu. What's Helldivers 2 the hell
So-
about?
Have you seen Starship Troopers?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
Brilliant.
basically Starship Troopers, the video game.
Stu, you know
wow.
I've been living that in my office for the last year. I didn't even need to see the movie.
Oh yeah. Well, you
What have
can now live the experience at home, Seddon. Look at this.
What have you got in the office? SS soldiers and
Let's not go there.
Let's move on. Yep. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so you basically it's a third-person shooter where you, as the player, are partaking in a like a grand galactic war against bugs.
Wow.
And it very
there's
much
some graphics.
inspired by Starship Troopers, of course, but there are mechs and mechanoids and stuff. But concentrate on the bugs. You are basically just shooting the shit out of a load of bugs. It's got your usual kind of shoot a game, capture the flag, destroy a certain number of enemies, blah blah blah. Survive a certain amount of time. Horde modes, that kind of stuff. But it's what I'm loving about it is just how it's got that same humor that Starship Troopers has. Kind of
Really.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but do you know what I mean? Like a lot of the kind of that RoboCop style fake TV adverts, kind of like you're here to spread democracy across the galaxy. Join up and blah blah blah. It's got the same tone about it as Starship
That's the
Troopers.
director, was it Paul Van Hoven? Paul
Verhoeven, yeah.
Verhoeven, who did RoboCop and Starship Troopers and Showgirls, I think.
Yep.
The trilogy.
Yeah, the Holy Trilogy. You can get the box set. It looks great. Stu, do you know what? I like the look of it. It doesn't look too complicated. And a lot of these games nowadays really overcomplicate things.
Jimmy, you get shot into the planet and you get told to this is your target. This is what you need to do. This is your goal. Go and do it. Shoot some bugs and do your thing, and that is it.
And are they bringing out Showgirls, the game, as well?
I would hope so. I think it's very similar to that combo
game I played. Yeah.
You're waggling your stick. But Helldivers 2, as Miss Lacey, Miss Phoenix says, we need to get some Helldivers 2 in. Yeah, we do. We need to have some multiplayer. And I think this is a game that excels in multiplayer.
I was going to say, have you got it on PlayStation, Stu?
I have, mate. Yes. Yeah, it's available on Steam as well. And it's the kind of the game of the moment. Again, it's like Power World. It's kind of exploded. Loads of people are playing it. The concurrent players is off the charts. They've had to expand their servers, and people are loving it. And I took a punt on it, and it's been very fun, I have to say. Very cinematic game. You can recreate just some amazing cinematic moments where you're diving behind a boulder, throwing a grenade into a bug hole, and it just all comes together in this wonderful, crazy Starship Troopers package. It's brilliant fun.
Oh, go ahead, Sid. Sorry.
I was going to say, I'll be down for getting it and playing online, but as long as whoever I'm playing online with doesn't mind me diving behind a boulder and staying there while you do all the hard work, because that's my idea of online gaming. Come out and get the loot.
I'll be doing the same, so we might need two others to actually do this.
Phoenix, it's on you.
Whilst we just cower in a bush.
Yeah,
because you do know how I like to hide in a toilet once.
It was one of the most amazing gaming moments of my life when I went round yours, Stu, that time. And what game was it? It wasn't Rust, was it? What was the
Battlefront? No. What's it called? Oh God. What's it called?
Oh good, what is it called? Oh good, here we go. Oh, my memory. But ultimately, it's one of them survive out-survive 50.
Player Unknown, that one.
And Player Unknown Battlegrounds, and yes, there I was. Went round there. Stuart got this lovely setup, massive TV on the wall, and I just watched him lay in a bath for 10 minutes hiding.
Let everyone else kill themselves.
Yeah.
Stu, what can I buy that game on? And
you
how
can
much
get it on your
cost?
PlayStation 5, and I think it's £34.
Oh,
so it's pretty cheap in terms of modern day game releases. It's on Steam as well on your PC.
I've got that.
Probably a little bit cheaper over there, but they're cross-play as well. So if you had it on Steam and someone else had it on PlayStation, you could play together.
Right. I love that. that we live in a world now where you can play cross-platform.
That's amazing.
I presume you haven't tried, because I presume there's a Helldivers 1.
There is, and it's a very different game. It's a top-down, almost Smash TV twin stick shooter where you're kind of your character
sounds of that as well.
Why they chose to go and change the direction, I don't know. But
more money, got a bigger budget this time.
Yeah, probably.
And easier to sell to the masses, run around shooting.
I think so. I think more people are more inclined to play if they see what it is and it's a third person shooter. I can relate to that. That's like 90% of all the games out there. Highly recommend it. Granted, I've only played about an hour, but it's been a fantastic hour, I have to say.
Look, 30 quid in Argos and curries.
Sorry, Lacey, you were saying.
So I've been going old school in my gaming. I've gone back
Oh,
for
hello.
the 4th time to Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, why? Why? I'm not, not to say that it's a bad game or anything like that, but why? You're trying it again.
And to follow up on Stu's why, also when you're perpetually on Football Manager, how have you played anything but Football Manager? I can go how
I work.
I can go on my computer any time of the day, and it will pop up saying Lacey is playing Football Manager.
Mm-hmm.
Must be a glitch in the Matrix. I never do such a thing.
Yeah.
Red Dead was I replayed it again during like lockdown and the end times, and every time I've redone it, I've basically just sort of bashed into the story and sort of gone for it. This time, I've got to the point where Mike is still left in prison, and I'm leaving him there. I'm in chapter 2,
doing
and
hard
I'm just
time.
hunting and killing small animals and trying to get all the bits that you don't normally do. And have just spent hours finding all the wind chimes and all the random
Fair play.
bits and like killing all the legendary animals and doing all that stuff.
Unlucky achievements for doing roly polies. That took up a lot of my life when I was playing Red Dead 1. Me and my friend Mark just sat there for about 3 hours one night just roly polying because you needed to do about 5,000 of them to unlock a bit of the game.
Did you get it?
Oh yeah. And then did about another 3 hours of doing it because by that time I was indoctrinated to like that's all I can do in a game now.
Only roly poly.
Yeah.
That and a little bit of the remaster of Tomb Raider.
Oh, how is that?
I got that for the other
That's
half.
been on in my house as well. The remake of Tomb Raider. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that game is hard, unforgiving.
I'm so glad you said it because that's what I remember about it being bloody impossible. Like, how does anyone get anywhere in that game?
So the better half is doing much better on it than I am. She's nearly finished all of 1, but yeah, it is brutal, and it reminds you that gaming back when we were kids did not hold your hand in any way, shape, or form.
God no.
Have they improved the controls at all? Are they still like tanky?
So you can have it either with tank controls or the modern controls.
Oh, okay.
But the modern controls are shit, and they've mapped the one button to be action and jump, and they've fucked up the controls. The other half is playing it predominantly in the old visuals as well. So
yes, because you can swap any point in the game, can't you? Just click on the buttons and it goes back to the original graphics, and then you can go back. I liked that, being able to see the original graphics, and how they've changed. Like, because in the original there'd be like a shit pixelated painting on the wall, and you can't tell what it is. But then you swap to the new graphics, you go, oh, it's a painting of a woman. I can see that now. Like, and even like the carpet, everything it's weird seeing it.
It does make it look better, but you then still see how limited the level design was at times of like weird angled walls. Even in prettier textures, they're still weird angled walls.
Do you reckon that was why it was so hard to cover up for the fact that they'd kind of not really done most of the game? So we're just like, if we make it so they can't get past the first level, they'll never notice how the shit the rest are.
I just remember how hard it was to sort of jump forward. Quite often you just be jumping up straight like that.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
Jump and then push forward at the
fucking forward.
Yeah. But a lot of the game is like precision platforming, but you're trying to do it with a tank. It wasn't for me back in the day.
The amount of controllers that I imagine people broke just going, this is bollocks, and smashing them against something.
Yeah.
Do
you remember there was a
2? I broke about 3 or 4 pads during Tomb Raider 2.
There was a tip once that came out for the first one in a magazine where if you
don't play it, that was the tip.
No, the tip was if on controller 2 you beat out the you tapped out
quite literally beat out.
You tapped out the beat to Wannabe by the Spice Girls on control pad 2, and on control pad 1 you made her dance, and if you did that for like 2 minutes it should go naked.
I do remember
but it was in an April edition of one of the computer magazines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an April Fool's joke, but we spent quite some
Doing
time
that
trying
for
to do
3.5 hours, and it still
Yeah.
never happened.
Because you
Try
need,
it. It's the
need
holidays.
triangle boobs.
that. Yeah,
Still
I'll
got a
tell you what, don't
PlayStation
worry.
connected to this day. I still try it every night.
Going, it might not have been a joke. It may not have been a joke.
You never know. You never know.
As much as it was
go on.
unbelievable to go naked, though, it was weird. Like back then, wasn't it? The weird stuff you could do in games, as in weird kind of inputs into controllers to make it happen. And I don't think you get that anymore, do you? Like everything's kind of like just download stuff. Whereas back then it was like waiting for someone in a magazine to tell you that if you press this button 75 times and then put left, you'd unlock something in the game. I miss those days. I miss those days of mystery.
It's funny you say that, because going back full circle to Helldivers 2, you get these things called stratagems, which are like they're like your special moves, for want of a better term. So you can call down like a bombardment from up in space, or you can call in a
alien style,
a better gun. How you do it? You each like thing that you want to call in has a specific code attributed to it. So whether it's up, down, left, right, so you have to type in that you press your L1 button to bring up the menu. And if you say, I want a bombardment from space, you left, up, down, right. And that's how you call it in. It's brilliant.
This is sounding more and more like my sort of game. I can hide and do old school keypad inputs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you've typed in the code, you then get a little ball that you have to fuzz to where you want the
Pokeball.
Exactly.
Everything all in one. Yeah.
It's a game tailored to you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
If you tell me I can breed the bugs and then bring them into
that could
expansion,
be coming
maybe.
soon.
Expansion,
coming soon. I would like a play as the bug mode. That would be good. Yeah, but who knows?
There you go, Stu. There you go, Stu.
Lots of gaming.
A gaming section for our big breakfast show. We don't usually get a gaming section.
No, we don't. Ben the Boffin and all that. Remember Ben the Boffin?
Yeah.
Of course. Let's move on to what we've been watching. Please indulge me. Can I go first? Do you mind?
Of course.
Because I want to bring up June. Now, I remember I seem to think
Terry in June.
Yeah.
Please.
Fabulous.
Do you mean Dune?
I do mean Dune. Yeah. Apologies.
June.
But I watched Dune, and I've been holding out for so long. I don't really know why I've been holding out. I guess maybe
you couldn't be bothered.
Well,
Jimmy's review.
You didn't have 3 hours.
I think it's all of that combined. I wasn't compelled to go and watch it. I think because of a multitude of reasons that many of those you've just said, and perhaps I thought it was maybe a bit too intellectual sci-fi for me. I don't know. It felt to me that it had a bit of a reputation, for being more highbrow sci-fi. I don't know. I'd never seen Dune before.
I think you're right, Stu. But I think on both sides of that coin, I think some of that reputation probably elevated it in some people's eyes, and I think some of that reputation made it inaccessible initially.
That's a good word. Inaccessible. Yeah. And I think I probably found it a bit too inaccessible, and it felt like quite a large undertaking to go and watch it. But alas, I did try to do it. Granted, I did it in 2 chunks over 2 evenings.
I thought you were going to say I fast-forwarded bits of it.
I watched it in times 30.
It's the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes. It's banging.
But I absolutely loved it. Jimmy, I know you're not a particular fan of Dune, but I found it utterly compelling. It was a visual delight. I think you just watch it and it's, like the sand vistas of what's the planet called? I forget what it's called now.
Oh, I can't remember either. Sorry, my bad.
No, that's all right. Don't mind. But sand planet, Tatooine. Let's call it Tatooine. But
races are great.
It looked amazing. The score is amazing. I know you're a big fan of the score.
Yeah.
It sounds amazing. It looks amazing, and I just found myself. I didn't find it inaccessible at all. I found myself really. It could be inaccessible because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of kind of elaborate relationships between houses and political stuff going on, but I was utterly engrossed all the way through. I'm not sure I understood a lot of it, but I loved what I was watching. You know?
I think you made a good choice splitting it though. Like, and obviously, I think there are some people who'd say like, watch the whole thing, then watch the second one. But I did the same as you. I didn't see it at the cinema, and I come to it quite a bit later. And I was quite jazzed for it because I love Denis Villeneuve, the director. I think he's an amazing director. But yeah, when I watched it, I went, oh, do you know what? I'm deliberately going to kind of go about what feels halfway. I'm going to stop it and come back because I think like a kind of 3 hour anything is a tough grind. No matter how much you're enjoying it, that is a lot of time to put into something. And I think I enjoyed it a lot more doing it like so. I guess by the time I finish seeing part 2, effectively I'll see 4 parts because I'll probably split that into as well when I watch it.
I remember a lot of people spoke about this because I always watch something and I have my thoughts, and I'll watch some other reviews as well and steal some of their thoughts as well. But I remember a lot of people said there seemed to be like a bit of an ending, and then it carried on with the bit in the desert afterwards where he meets what's her name, Zendaya and whatnot. And I was like, yeah, I get that. Like, it seemed like it should have, that part 1 could have finished a little bit earlier, and I didn't know it was a part 1. Because I don't think they said it was a part 1 when they released it. I'm sure they didn't say it was part 1, and you just had to watch it. And at the end, it was like to be continued or whatever. I'm sure hopefully. It wasn't. Yeah. Well, yeah. And it's only just blooming coming out, isn't it? But I'm sure they never said it was going to be a part 1 and part 2 when they released it. But I just found everyone boring. I didn't like it. I don't really like any characters in it. Like, you talk about the sort of politics of it and the feuding families, and that instantly took me to something like Game of Thrones, where you've got all of those feuding families, but you've got so many different interesting characters and you know, boobs to keep you interested. I found it all very slow and just no one gripped me. I didn't care about anyone. I think that was my main problem with it. But I get it. It looks spectacular. I'm with you. It sounded great. But yeah, and I probably wasn't in the right frame of mind. I was just with a friend having a few beers going, oh, let's watch the new Dune movie. And then you're like, Jesus, this needs more than what I was prepared to give it, I think, at the time.
I think one of the things I'm with you, Jimmy. I mean, I really liked it, but the but is very much around, I didn't like many of the characters. I'm with you on that. And it wasn't even that, oh, boo hiss the villains. I didn't feel like I was connecting with the villains. I didn't feel like I was connecting with the good guys. A lot of them just felt a bit of a faceless mass to me. But the story, the visuals, and like, so the story that runs behind it and the visuals and the music, I think was enough to make me still really enjoy it. But that was the thing that stopped it from being really good or brilliant to me, is that, and it's a great cast, but they were, I don't know, it felt like they were reading lines rather than acting a lot of the time. And
I've just remembered,
hard to criticize them for that. But
one of the things that I did really like, the character that I did really like, was Javier Bardem. He's in it, isn't he? And he does a bit where he spits on something that's just popped into my head. He's being sort of brought in and he gobs on someone.
He spits on what's his face's desk, doesn't he? I think.
Yeah, and it reminded me of Clarence. Sorry, it reminded me of Clarence Boddicker in RoboCop. I remember that bit being the only thing that stood out as a character moment, because Oscar Isaac barely does anything, does he? Like, he's just sort of standing there, and Josh Brolin, I don't remember doing too much. And
that's something I wondered, because the cast was so great. I think, and again, loved the director going into it, and I thought, because the cast was so great. And it's probably a me thing, I kind of expected to be really wowed and love a lot of the characters, and I just didn't.
I think the problem with it is, for modern audiences, everything it does has already been done.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, obviously, Dune was writ way before even Star Wars came out. You know, the book was written like in the 50s. So all the sci-fi films that we've seen since has ripped off Dune. And
yeah, makes sense.
It's that thing of everything it does has been done elsewhere, and it comes across in that, because of it being after everything else, it's a bit tropey. it's like, oh well, yeah, here's the political bit, of course, because Star Wars did it, or here's the sandworms. Oh, like Beetlejuice did it, but this is where it all started. So it's
subsequent stuff's made it tropey, hasn't it?
Yeah.
This is the originator for so much of it.
Which I think that's the big problem with it for the modern audiences. So you can make it look really pretty and stuff, but because of how deep and how much there is in the story, I think it's overly condensed in what it's doing as well, which doesn't help it. Which I think also doesn't help with the acting on it, because there's so much that they have to sort of do in that with like the political stuff and all that sort of. No one gets their sort of big shiny look at me-ness to it, or here's your Luke Skywalker big sort of sword wheel. There's not.
I get that.
That big hero moment. Is
the big. Like there's not the big good or big bad. They're all sort of equally
shades of grey.
Yes, Stu. I think that's the problem. I think it's clearly a great movie, but I think what you said, Stu, maybe I'm not smart, not necessarily smart enough, but so programmed to want a Luke Skywalker, someone who's me or a Star Lord or whatever, like this, a young guy who just finds himself in the middle of something, and you're like, yeah, that's me in it, rather than moody, po-faced Chalamet trying to upset his mum by mind reading her to get him drink or whatever. I can't fucking quite remember.
He does do that. Yeah, he does.
What my bum?
I'd rather he had taken a pounding. Like, I didn't want to see him win.
You said something right at the start, Jimmy, about Game of Thrones, and I think that's the other side of the coin, isn't it? I think if you're not necessarily getting that hero to hang on to, you want something Game of Thronesy. So you've got these like warring factions, and you kind of want to lean towards one more than the other. And I must admit, I did kind of go, don't really care who wins. Like I wasn't taking a side, or I didn't hate the bad guys so much that I was like, boo hiss, as long as they lose. And yeah, just a little bit of disconnection for me in that world. And I don't know why, but it just didn't.
Yeah,
but I think Stu, watching it in two parts, I bet, and seeing you doing that, I bet that was better, because I could see it working a lot better like that.
Yeah,
there's an interesting comment in the comments. Interesting comment in the comments section from Miss Phoenix, Stu.
Have I watched Beetlejuice yet? No, I
that
haven't.
Was your task 2 weeks ago.
Homework. I mean, we know what I'm like with homework. I just dog ate it, bench ate it. I'm sorry, so sorry.
Did you like Momoa in it, Stu?
He was all right. Yeah, I didn't dislike him.
Didn't he have a beard at one point and then turn up without a beard?
Yes. I'm pretty sure it's almost like in the movie, like 30 seconds passes, and yes, he hasn't got a beard anymore.
He's got a beard, and I think they do comment going, "Oh, you've shaved off your beard," and it was like, why? I get maybe it was a reshoot or something.
Yeah. Are we compelled to go and see the second one?
Oh yeah, definitely for me.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll watch it. Yeah.
I'll watch it at home. I won't go to the cinema. I can't do a full 3 hour. I think with YouTube have sort of said doing it in halves is probably going to be better than trying to find 3 and a bit hours. And
well, Stu, you've got your cinema pass. You could still do it in 2 parts. You could go and watch the first part.
No, you can only see each film once.
Whoa, mistake.
I know.
What?
How do they know?
Weird rule. What a weird rule.
I know.
And how do they know what film you've seen? Surely it's just a card that you show them.
Well, I assume they've got a computer somewhere that can tell what film I've seen. Jimmy.
I've been warning you about ages about computers.
Just say you see something else on another screen, and you know what screen you're going into.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah,
they go piss off. You've seen Migration 3 times this week. You're not watching it against you.
Oh, speaking of Migration, I did watch that.
There you go. I thought I'd had a link in.
Don't bother with that. It was a bit disappointing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
do you know, it was to me. It kind of displayed how much confidence the filmmakers had in the film. So it was made by Illumination, who do the
Minions and
Despicable Me, Minions, and Mario movie, and For the first 20 minutes, you get a short film that is a lead in to Despicable Me. What is it? 4 at this point, I think it is. So
Yeah.
to me that spoke volumes. Right, we don't really care about the feature film you've come to see. Here's 20 minutes of preamble to Despicable Me 4.
Hang on, how 20 minutes?
Yes. Do you remember Who Framed Roger Rabbit? And they had that little short at the beginning, which is about 5 minutes, and it was kind of cool, kind of funny. It set up little baby, what's his name?
Yeah, the baby who smokes cigars and stuff.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of like that, but for a completely different film. It's very odd. And then you get to the main feature that was migration. And
Stu, just before you carry on, I remember seeing when I was going to book some tickets that it was only 88 minutes long or something. Migration.
Yeah.
So is that because there's 20 minutes of Despicable Me?
Yeah.
First.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Wow.
I say 20 minutes. I say 10, 15 minutes. It's a long time anyway.
Baby Herman.
Yeah, thank you. And enough for me to think, oh, well, you kind of, it's almost like you're getting people in with that and then kind of shoving in it felt like when they put the Metal Gear Solid demo in with Zone of the Enders, I think it was, on the PlayStation. It was a shit game, but they brought you in with the Metal Gear Solid demo on a disc. It was like that. And that's an analogy for you. So
was the film any good?
It was all right. It wasn't great. It was very, I could tell where the plot was going to go within the first 5 minutes. It's what's the collective for a group of ducks? Do we know?
A lot orange.
They do make that.
Is it a flock?
We'll go with a flock. It features a flock / family of mallards that, they don't have the one of them doesn't have the confidence to believe in himself and go off and brave the wide world and go and migrate to pastures new every winter. But of course, along the way, he grows his confidence, becomes a fantastic father, and we have a happy ending. But
nice.
It's very by the numbers, to be honest. Very disappointing for an Illumination thing, because I do think they have films that do that classic thing where they appeal to the parents and the kids, don't they? They're very much a Pixar in that way.
Yeah.
But no, this was very much very bland, very formulaic. In fact, I asked Benjo, did you like Migration? You did. You said it was rubbish.
I didn't.
Okay. Well, Benj liked it, apparently.
It's good. That's what a YouTuber has to do. Shilling for Illumination. He's getting the hang of it.
They've done their job, haven't they?
He'll get subscribers.
Yep. Hashtag said an anus is trending. In the chat.
Good.
Number one trend.
Come on.
Yep, there we go. But yeah, if you've got young
I can
kids,
multitask. I get it on X now, but I can't.
Young kids clearly will enjoy it, but if you're the adult taking them along, then it won't be for you, I don't think. But
well, talking of trips to the cinema, Stu, I'd like to hear what Lacey's seen at the cinema.
Oh yes, Lacey.
So I went to see Iron Claw. Going in obviously as the wrestling fan, and not going in just because it's got that kid from High School Musical in. Like pretty much most of the people in the cinema clearly were, because they had no idea what was going on. Really good, liked it.
Nice.
So Iron Claw is the story of the Von Erichs, yeah?
Yes, it is the story of Fritz and Co. And the CWC. And all the other wonderful things of the 80s wrestling. Everyone in it is actually really good, except one guy. The guy that plays Flair is fucking...
Oh, I've seen this. Yeah, he is bad, isn't he? So let's see if I can get a clip of that.
Yes, please.
Carry on while you're doing that. The guy that is Fritz is great. He has that proper gruff old-timey wrestling promoter down really well, and obviously they're putting the business ahead of his family at times, because that's what they do. all the guys that play all of the brothers are really good. The guy that plays Kerry Von Erich, the guy from The Bear, plays him so well, and they seem to have got what the characters should be and should do. Obviously, there's loads of proper wrestlers in there, being oldie wrestlers like Chavo Guerrero's in there, MJF's in it. But
I just
MJF,
saw that
blinking, you miss it.
Chavo plays the Sheik, didn't he?
Yeah, he plays
That's
original.
amazing.
Does he
Sheik.
really?
Yeah.
He was heavily involved with training the actors, wasn't he, Chavo?
Yeah,
Guerrero?
well, Chavo does pretty much all the TV stuff because he did Glow, and there was another TV thing that he was doing as well with
The
wrestling.
Stephen and Mel one that had Punk in. Did
Yeah.
he do that as well?
Yeah, he was doing that as well. But yeah, so it is very much well worth a watch. And other than there's a few timeline things, but you would only know if you know your wrestling history that the timeline's slightly wrong.
Do you think you have to be a wrestling fan to enjoy it? Because it's about the Von Erichs, who was a very dramatic family who were all involved in wrestling, who all of them died, didn't they, at various points from various things? Like, it's quite a tragic story. Do you need to be a wrestling fan to enjoy it, or is it like the film The Wrestler, which is anyone can bloody enjoy it?
The thing is, there's probably at the most 20 minutes of wrestling in the whole thing, because all the bits of matches are either just like finishes, or you get a bit of an entrance and them in the ring and like one or two moves. It's not wrestling centric.
Yeah, so it's not like Rocky where you're building up to the big match where you're hoping someone's going to win.
It is very much about them and them as people and them outside of the ring and the family curse. So yeah, anyone that likes sort of inspired by real life and sort of biography style stuff, it's for them. It isn't one that you have to like wrestling. And the thing is, as I said, the one thing that during it I just boiled my piss was the guy who played Flair, because he's so fucking bad.
We have it. Have it.
You know, the rest of it, I'm just like, yeah, it's great. And this to say, I don't think it's one of those you have to be a wrestling fan to like it. If you're a wrestling fan and you want to see the real shit, go watch The Dark Side of the Ring on the Von Erichs, because it goes into all the details and gives you the proper timelines. But yeah.
Should we check it out? I think
Yes,
you've sold it well, Lacey. Let's see. let's take
boil his piss again, as he so eloquently put it.
Yeah. Why don't you put your blood pressure monitor on? We can get
Let's see what happens. Yeah.
Right.
200 over 76. Bloody hell. Right. Okay. Whilst he straps in,
Roll.
he's going. Let's roll him.
Now, let's get to the less pretty facts of life. Kevin, your daddy got together with the powers that be and ordered me back down here to Dallas. Ain't nothing happening second-rate sports community. I am the world's heavyweight champion because I am the greatest wrestler alive today, the toughest wrestler alive today. I have bled and sweat for this title. No daddy's boy is going to take that from me. This is professional wrestling. It is the most grueling of all professional sports. I've been stabbed, hit by chairs, beat up by everybody. I don't cry, I don't complain, I carry on. But the bottom line is, you're denying. I am talking right now. Hey, listen to me. Listen to me. I'll tell you what. You like talking to me on the show. You will listen to me talk while I'm out here. The bottom line is, if you're a man, you take the ups and downs. If you're a real man,
Jesus
you never go
Christ.
down. You just stay up.
Do you know what it was like? It was like
The Iron Claw is
it was like a child in their back garden or in their living room.
Yeah.
Like in the 80s, pretending to be a wrestler in front of their mates, or like a home video.
Stu, can you just get Flair doing a little thing up? Just the comparison.
I'll get the actual promo up, shall I?
The actual Flair. Yeah.
185 over 126
Yeah.
with a 78 fucking pulse rate.
That
Play
was
it against you.
That was we'll finish him off. We want those views.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable. Yeah. Is that actor thinking, well, Ric Flair wasn't a good actor, so I'm going to come across as a bad actor? Or is that actor a bad actor?
There were some tiny bits. There were some tiny Flair inflections on it, but it felt to me like he'd never watched a Flair promo before doing it.
The worst bit is, which isn't in that, is how he woos.
Woo!
Pretty much. There's no Flairisms to it at all.
Flair's probably the most iconic wrestler in the film, right? Like,
is this the one
most recognizable?
I don't know if this is like the actual promo, but
Coming down now, May 5th.
That's Rick.
It's much better already, isn't he?
Talking about it now for a couple of weeks.
Get this actor
one more time. You see the Von Erichs figure they got Ric Flair trapped. The National Wrestling Alliance seems to be reinforcing.
Yeah, you need that kind of slur.
Yeah.
Reinforcing everything.
Yeah, like he's had a few drinks before he does
in
it.
Texas Stadium. They got me defending the World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, we get the idea. We know what Ric Flair.
But he believes what he's saying. Do you think they should have cast what's his name? Jay Lethal.
Yes.
Get Black Machismo.
Jay Lethal does the best Ric Flair impression.
That awesome. TNA promo of Flair against Jay Lethal is still one of my favorite promos of all time.
I mean, there would have been some complaints from the Trump Republicans saying they're making Ric Flair black. I reckon Ric Flair would have been up for it. Jay Lethal in a big blonde wig,
or just have him dub it.
Yes,
or de-age Ric Flair. De-age Indiana Jones. Or either way, yeah, whichever's the least offensive.
So he was on AEW this week, continuing to shill his Woo Energy drink and
wooings.
His voice isn't holding up so well. Yeah. So effectively, he works for AEW, but they don't pay him. As long as they stick Woo Energy up as a sponsor, he comes along and does it for now. Bless him.
Which is a weird mushroom drink that can't be cleared by the FDA properly and may kill you.
I'm up for it.
Carefully crafted.
Sparkling mushroom elixir.
Elixir, yep.
That's ace.
Good God. Does it
taste mushroomy? Stress relieving. How does an energy drink relieve stress?
Basically, get some in you.
Yeah. In fact, that could be the next test. Drink one of them and see what happens to the blood pressure after that.
Feel the woo. I'm loving this.
Lions.
Turning on
Lion's Mane.
I can't remember how old he is now. He's 70 something, isn't he?
Mid-70s, yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on, what's known for its nootropic benefits? What are nootropic benefits?
It was known for
Made
Jimmy.
up words.
Come on.
Oh, they missed trick. They should have been wooed.
Known for its nootropic benefits. I'd love to hear him say all this. Helps to increase focus, memory, and may enhance concentration. Well,
cordyceps. It's got a bit of The Last of Us in there. We'll turn you into a zombie.
I want
it. He also has wings delivery thing as well, like on American version of Just Eat. And the way that he says "woo wings" is beautiful.
Well, like chicken wings.
Yeah.
Woo! Nice. Oh my! This is another world.
He's and just so he hasn't changed everything, he turned on Sting again this week in AEW.
Did he? I wonder what happened there because he didn't turn up when the Bucks did them over, did he?
Well, I say he turned on them. He turned up in a limo, as Flair should and will always do. And then Renee Paquette interviewed him, and he had a quite tearful look in his eye because he was very disappointed that Sting hadn't been giving him enough attention. And then he went into Young Buck's locker room, it was really sad to see because his promo was still fine. But the camera tracked him and watched him walk, and watching him walk from behind, he does look like a 70-plus-year-old man walking now. It's quite a shame to see.
Well, worse than a 70-plus-year-old man, I imagine.
Yeah.
Let's check this out, Stu.
Oh,
You need the sound on
yeah,
for it.
Yeah. Okay, let's to get the full effect.
Wings! Legendary flavors! World Championship wings! Woo! Woo wings! Yeah! Woo woo! Wings! Legendary
watch
flavors!
this on
World
loop.
Championship wings! Woo! Woo wings!
Yeah.
Yeah!
God, that's like a cameo.
Whoa.
That's like someone said, "Can you get some chicken wings and say woo wings, please?"
Like teaching your granddad a new word, isn't it? He's
I
he's
love
not
that.
sure how to say it. He's just seen it written down.
Oh, do you know, I love Ric Flair and I love chicken wings. That made me really happy. That got some good comments from Miss Phoenix in the chat. We're not doing as much acknowledging, Stu.
No, I know.
Think
I
my
know.
ears
Yeah.
are bleeding.
All right.
That's from the Flair promo. Woo.
Mhm.
I don't think woo drink would meet the food and beverage guidelines in the UK. I
No.
agree.
Mm.
Ends
do
up
it,
turning
let's do it.
kids mental and bleaching their hair.
Mm.
That's good.
Mm.
Yeah. And this drink isn't real. Please tell me it's a deep fake.
Oh, it's
Unfortunately,
very, very
it is
real.
real. Yeah.
Very real.
One of my mates who I used to do wrestling 20 years ago with, who lives out in the States, did go and buy a can, didn't drink it, but bought a can just to have the can at his house.
Hmm.
But it was just like,
yeah. All right.
just
I'd drink
weird.
one. I'd drink
I
one. I'd
can't
eat the
find
chicken wing.
I can't find any UK retailers that are selling it. Unfortunately,
shame.
it is import from the States only.
It's such like I tried to buy Broken Skull lager, and that was going to cost me like 15 quid a can or something to get it over here. It was ridiculous. God knows how much it would cost to get Woo Wings over.
they'll be a bit cold by the time they get it.
Go on,
Yeah.
Just Eat and see how quickly they can deliver it to you.
If he releases a sauce for chicken wings, we'll be able to get that. That would be all right. Woo sauce. He should do that. That's next, Rick. If you're watching,
that's hot bakes there, right there, Jimmy.
Woo, yeah, damn right.
So Iron Claw then, Lacey. I think that gets that seemed to me that I should say we now rate the movies we've watched, and I've just realised we haven't rated any of the movies this evening.
Let's get on there and do it, Stu.
Dune for me.
Terry and Dune.
I'd give a good solid 4 out of 5 for me.
Right.
So I will log that. Migration 1.5.
Wow, more than Indiana Jones.
Yes, yes, bloody would, mate.
Well,
Iron
of
Claw.
course, because Indiana Jones was an absolute abomination.
Yes, thank
It
you.
was, half a point at best.
I think that's what we gave it, didn't we?
There is no Indiana Jones after the 80s. What are you on about?
Yep.
It's all,
I never thought they could make a worse movie than Crystal Skull, but
No,
somehow
they did.
they managed to do it, didn't they? Yeah.
Quite incredible.
Yeah.
What did we give the Marvel, Stu? Did we give that? You made me give that a star.
We went 2, didn't we?
Did we?
I
gave it half.
I brought you up to 2. I brought you up
Yeah.
to 2. I would have given it like 4 or 5, but
A solid 3.5 for me. The Marvels.
Wow.
Jimmy's wrong. Lacey, what would you give Iron Claw at a score 1 to 5? You can have half points as well.
I would do a 4 because it's not the best film I've seen this year.
Lovely,
Nice.
lovely. Right, let me just. So,
What is the best film you've seen this year? If you're
Poor
going to start,
Things.
I'm mega jealous. I miss Poor Things. I was supposed to be going and seeing Poor Things at the cinema, and
You got the A's.
I was sick, wasn't I? And I haven't been able to see it since. But yeah, I think that probably
My
was a shout
dad
with me.
invited me to watch Poor Things because my mum didn't fancy it. But she was like, it sounds very weird. And my dad was like, Emma Stone, Willem Dafoe, like, it'll be
Emma Stone
great.
one.
Yeah. And my mum went and watched it, and me and my sister messaged her going, how was it? And she went, porn. She went, it was porn. Your dad enjoyed it, obviously. That's what
I
she
mean,
said
I was looking forward to it before your mum's review, but I'm even more looking forward to it now.
Porn.
Did you say poor or porn?
Porn. And dad
Right.
enjoyed
Okay.
it, obviously, she said.
Yeah.
my dad is like quite a straight-laced
Oh.
guy. Like, it's weird. Like, he enjoyed it, the pervert that he is. Like,
You don't often get to
far
watch porn on a big screen with a room full of other people, do you? Normally, it's a solo sport. Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why he didn't do that. But
Yeah.
there we go.
Sen,
Films,
tell us about Saltburns. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want. Let's talk about Saltburns. I know Sen, you watched it, and well, I won't give away what I perceived to be your thoughts on it. But Jimmy, did you ever end up watching it? Because I know you said you wanted to.
No, I do. So no spoilers, please, if
Okay.
possible.
Can you do a
Yeah,
non-spoiler review, then?
I'll try and go quite broad on.
I'll
on
let
like
you.
what
I'll
it's
let
about
you do
and
that
things
then,
like
because
that.
I probably wouldn't be able to.
Well, because I was going to say because you've watched it, Lace, didn't you, as
Yeah.
well, and we kind of watched it independently. I don't think we even spoke about it. I think we had just watched it, and then I mentioned it, and we were chatting away. So for your broad story, it's about a lad from let's say a less advantaged background going to university, and the university is full of, I would say, more advantaged people, better money, hasn't come from a poor background, and he feels a bit of an outsider, a loner, and he befriends, let's say, the lad with the floppy hair that's on there now.
Mhm.
And then it's about him going to stay with this guy's family. And I think probably the truth of it is it's a look at the difference in class.
Ooh, class divide. I like it.
Yeah, and it is a lot about the class divide. However, I think I can't talk about the plot any more than that, because that would kind of take us into spoiler areas. But it will. In fact, like while the trailer's gone, while the trailer's going on, but we watch the trailer, it does kind of, even in the trailer, suggest that he starts to insinuate himself into this rich family. So, and be it for possibly like nefarious reasons, or that he just wants to be part of the family. And it's got like Richard E. Grant in it as the father. It's got Rosamund Pike as the mum. It's got a fantastic cast. And I would say, as much as they are portrayed as the rich elite, they are very eccentric rich elite as well. Like it really is kind of playing up the fact that these are, I mean, I don't know if they ever tell you what Richard E. Grant's job is, but you can't imagine him actually doing a job because he's such an oddball in it, but he's amazing in it. Like he really shines out in it. And because he's the poor guy, for want of a better term, he's kind of the hero for a lot of it, regardless of whether he stays the hero or not, because he's you. Because I guess unless you are rich and live in a stately home, he is the everyman part of it. But they do suggest, and you see it in the trailer, that he's maybe not quite the everyman that you're used to seeing, and he has his fair share of quirks as well. But there's not a cast member in it who I don't think kind of puts in one of the best showings ever. Barry Keoghan, who plays the main character, his performance in it is, he's done great stuff before, but it's almost sort of transcendent, because I've got to tiptoe around spoilers, but I think he plays almost 4 characters in one movie. He's that good. And one of the things that I think brought it to quite a lot of notoriety, because for what it is and what it does, it's the sort of movie that I really didn't expect to get any mainstream attention, but it really has got mainstream attention. And that is because there are a few moments in the movie that I will say take it to very, is this fair, Lacey, bizarre and potentially very off-putting and disgusting places. And I think because it's got those, it's allowed it to become a bit of a TikTok sensation or an X sensation, because people get drawn in by these moments. But it's so much more than those moments. Those moments kind of exist in the movie, and some of them are pretty gross. But you get to the end of the movie, and I mean, I started watching it about 2:00 in the morning one morning, which isn't too far off. And I just thought I'll give it like 20 minutes and see, because I'd heard it's good. And like 2 and a bit hours later, I was gutted when it ended, because I'd got so caught up in all of these characters and who they were and where they were going. And yeah, for me, an absolute masterpiece of a movie.
Wow, 5 out of 5 stars.
Would Jimmy's dad like it?
Yes, Jimmy's dad would love it.
He's probably watched it already, to be honest. It's on Prime, isn't it?
I mean, it is on Prime. Yeah, Prime.
Now Barry what's his name? Barry Keoghan?
Keoghan, yeah.
Yeah, and he was the standout actor in that awful Marvel film, The Eternals, wasn't he? He actually had a character in that.
Do you know what? I forgot he was in The Eternals. You are right. You are right. He was in it, but I totally forgot he was in that. And
he's the Joker, right? In the Batman movie with Robert Pattinson. He seems like he's one of these new golden boys of Hollywood, and I'm not saying that in a negative way, like a new, standout star. He's almost the, you said earlier about Timothée Chalamet, who I think is the
the golden boy star, isn't he? Because he's got like the floppy hair, and Barry Keoghan feels like the guy who's going to be alongside him probably for a while as the people who are getting the big Hollywood roles,
like your Cillian Murphy type character.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah,
and a teensy spoiler here for you, and this was how it was sold to me by the person who told me to watch it, because he knew I loved Murder on the Dance Floor by Sophie Ellis-Bextor. He said one of the most interesting uses of a song in a movie ever,
right.
and he weren't lying. It's one of the most interesting uses of a song in a movie ever. So get ready for that part.
I thought you was going to say because he knew that I love Murder, She Wrote.
Oh, that as well. Yeah.
Jessica Fletcher, Magnum PI, Saltburn.
Yeah. Well, and as I say, it's got some big ticket moments. It really does. But I think everything else around it is just acted so amazingly, written so well. It looks great. Give it a watch if you haven't.
I'm going to get that done.
Yeah.
It's one of those of the big moments that have got the notoriety make sense and why they're there, but also are very much ways to get eyes onto it. But
yeah,
it's much more than those moments that has got it the notoriety.
Nice.
One of the weird things about it is like I work in an office, so there's people of kind of all range of taste, likes and things like that, and it's rarely when I find that everyone on the floor that I work on has watched something. This is one of the few things that I can think of in years and years and years where everyone's watched it. And after you have watched it, Jimmy, you need to message us privately and tell us which of the moments was the grossest moment, because that's the most disgusting that's been discussed in our office for about 2 months. And but yeah, so let us know when you've watched it.
Stu, we need to make it over the next 2 weeks. That's our homework.
Okay,
we'll watch it. So in 2 weeks,
never get done.
Just for one of your big fans out there, Miss Phoenix, who puts in a lot of comments. Stu, you got to watch Beetlejuice first. That's only fair. Yeah, double homework for you, double maths for you.
Speaking of, she says you can't see past Richard E. Grant, who is in Saltburn, in anything but a Loki outfit these days. Yeah, he did suit that outfit.
He was amazing as Loki, wasn't he? But I will say he's so quirky in this. It wouldn't have shocked me if he'd appeared in the background of one of them wearing a Loki outfit.
Wow, that's intriguing, isn't it?
Nice.
Yeah, it is one of those films that has taken on the zeitgeist, isn't it? And I'm glad Lacey said, and you alluded to it, that the moments don't outshine or outshock the grander, the grander film, if you like. That's good to know, because that there's a danger that might happen, mightn't it? Excellent.
We were out having dinner at the weekend with a couple that we know, and they were talking about signing up for Prime. And they'd got it recently, and they said, "Oh, have you watched anything good on Prime recently?" And I sort of said, "Oh yeah, like I really like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the TV show." And I sort of said, "Oh, and there's Saltburn," and they said, "I'd never heard of it." And their 14-year-old daughter said, "Oh yeah, I've watched that." And I must admit, when I heard her say it, I went, "Oh bloody hell!" Okay. You might want to put an age thing on your Prime. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sold.
Jimmy is saying
14-year-old girl likes it.
Yes,
that leads me on to what I've been watching.
Jimmy, you tell us about Monster High. I just need to leave for a second, just to.
Oh,
but
do I have to talk about Monster High?
Please do. Yeah, you do that.
Well, I'll talk about the 2 films that I've watched.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah,
I'll do them both at the same time. So, what I've been trying to do more sort of movie nights with my young daughter, who is 7 now. So we watched 2 movies, both on Netflix. One called The School of Good and Evil, and one called Monster High. Monster High was a musical, like High School Musical film, where there's werewolves and vampires and gorgons and Frankenstein's monsters
and sells toys.
I've got it running on the side screen here, mate, and I'm seeing some of, like, as you say, some of the characters you are, and also seeing some of the makeup utilized in this film. And God, how did any of these people survive this? They're caked so much now. How have they not suffocated?
Yeah, very similar to the Tin Man in Wizard of Oz. it's awful. It's awful. But it was actually with a young daughter, it was really quite enjoyable because they enjoyed it, and I'd say I enjoyed it more than the Marvels.
Weirdly enough, what's kind of just flashed up on the screen is some of the organised dance routines, but I've not got sound coming out, so God knows what they're actually dancing to. It's quite interesting to see it happen without music.
It's lacking a huge budget. It's lacking a huge amount of extras. What's hilarious is you see the outside of a school, and it's like a massive mansion, like it's a castle. But when it's inside the school, it's clearly hallways from a school somewhere where they've put some wallpaper up, and some of the wallpaper's slightly creased. You can see that the wallpaper's creased. It's bad, but it knows it's bad. It knows it's a load of shit. It knows it's just a film for kids. And I think if you've got young daughters or young sons that like a bit of a musical, it's definitely worth a watch. And I just found out a couple of days ago that there's a sequel.
Well, I was just about to say, mate, I've got some good news for you. I've just seen that there's a sequel.
I was chuffed when I saw that. So me and the little one will watch that in the next few days.
Weirdly enough, on IMDb, the second one's rated higher than the first one, so they're going to up their game for the second one. Look.
Not often that a sequel is better than the first, but that's good to know.
I was going to say, I know of Monster High of like it being like kids' toys range.
Yes,
because
I think the film was based on the kids' toys.
Getting advertised when Will was tiny, and you'd spend days watching Nick Jr. and Disney Plus and seeing all the toy adverts.
I can't wait to hear the review of number 2, like The Godfather 2 compared to The Godfather 1. That's what this will be like.
But as I say, if you've got some young kids, it's a fun little watch, and it knows what it is. Laugh at how stupid it is, and it knows.
I imagine it's not that long either. I imagine it's going to be like hour and a half-ish max.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, how long films were in the day.
Well, and that's the thing. We said that. I mean, we talked about June earlier being 3 hours, and don't get me wrong, I'll take a long movie if it should be long. Like if they've got a lot to tell, but I do quite like the 90-minute and below movies. You can just bang through them quite quickly. It's done. You've not wasted too much time, and even if it's just average, you don't mind it so much if it's flown by. So a few more of them, please.
And with the kids, it's like, oh, should we watch a movie before bed? It's 5 o'clock. A movie. We're gonna find it first. That's half an hour, and then we're gonna watch it for 2 hours. But actually, this you put it on there in bed by 7:30 or what? It's like, it's fine. There's no. I don't think there was many credits either. The other film we watched, which I was actually I really enjoyed, really thought was good, was the School of Good and Evil, which is based on a book. My daughter had watched it with her mum and my son. They had watched it once. She watched it again, and then I said, "Let's have a film night," and she went, "Can we watch that again?" I was like, yeah, and they said the Book of Good. I thought it was going to be an animated thing. They put it on, and straight away I was happy because there was real act. It was live action. I was like, oh, cool! It's not a cartoon. I didn't fancy a cartoon. Brilliant. And there's 2 brothers fighting each other, twin brothers. I think it was the same actor. One evil, one good, wizards, and they're fighting. And then it's the story about how one of the good wizard. Both of them run these schools where good wizards go or bad wizards go, or heroes and villains, And you've got a girl who lives in a forest who's called a witch because her mum's a witch, and she's friends with a girl who lives in the village, and it's set in, I don't know, Robin Hood times, that sort of era. And the girl who lives in the town, in the village, she thinks she's a bit of a princess, and she wants to go off to this school that she's heard about, and she gets taken, and she drags her friend with her, and they get dropped at a good school and an evil school. And suddenly you've got actors like Charlize Theron in it, Lawrence Fishburne, Mark Heap, Peter Serafinovitz.
Is Kate Blanchett in it, or am I misremembering that?
Kate Blanchett is the voiceover of the pen that's telling the story.
That's it, yeah.
Oh, Michelle Yeoh. You've suddenly got all these out, and you're like, hang on a minute, this is good. Again, it's missing a hell of a lot of extras. I don't know why films skimp on extras. Then they only cost 70 quid a day. But everyone in it is really good at acting. This girl, the two main girls are brilliant. You can get these films where you go, actually, and directed by Paul Feig as well. And obviously he's got some hits like, Bridesmaids, but obviously the Ghostbusters was a little bit dodgy because he lets people improvise too much. But these actors really try. Everyone is really trying. And I was so impressed with the acting, and the story's good. And the actors sell the story, and it's fun. And some of the magical powers that they get is fun. Some of the violence is fun. And the girl who, there's like a twist. There's a couple of twists in it. It was great. I was so impressed as something I thought would just be a bit of fluff for me to watch with the kids. I again enjoyed it more than the Marvels. I'd give the this,
Marvel scale.
Yeah, I'd give this 3 stars, which I think is quite a lot. Really.
I said to you, Jimmy, I actually forgotten about it. I watched it a while ago, and it was one of those. Sometimes if you wake up on the Saturday, you've got a couple of hours to kill, and you just flick on like Netflix or Prime, whichever it is, and go, "What's new on there?" And I saw this, and I kind of went, just chuck it on the background. Probably be a bit of fluff, probably not for me, but I don't have to focus on it too much. And yeah, I'm with you. I thought it was really good, and especially the thing that stood out for me is, as you say, like in a cast of some big name actors, it was those 2 main girls. I think they're doing very sort of tropey. Like it is a tropey film. It's about a school of good and evil, and as you say, there's a few twists, but I thought they were fantastic. Like I'm probably with you. I'll be in like that sort of 3.5 range, and a really genuinely nice surprise for something that I thought would be. If I look at it once every 5 minutes, I'll have seen the old movie and it's done. But really, really good movie.
Yeah,
I missed the start of the conversation. Is it a movie or is it a TV show?
Movie.
Yeah, sorry.
It's a good family watch. And what's interesting is there's obviously similarities between this and like Potter, for example, and you can see the difference in budget and direction. There's the bit when they turn up at the school and they're just dropped in the water by this big eagle thing. They're dropped in the water. And then you think about when they turn up at the school at Hogwarts and you've got the grand look at the lake as all the boats are going across the lake, and it's budget and directing is a massive thing. But if you would have put the amount of money into this that Potter had and a decent director like, Chris Columbus or someone like that, I think this could have been, the story's not as good as Potter. It's a bit more simple, but it certainly could have been a big scale thing that could have got a lot more eyes on it with just more money and a better director for that type of film. Paul Feig is not a director for, booky fantasy books, films.
One of the things I thought it did as well, Jimmy, was it's chock full of messaging, isn't it? And it is messaging that probably is a bit more kind of on the nose, directed at like teaching kids not to be pricks ultimately. But I thought they delivered that well as well. As much as it was hammered home to a degree, it wasn't embarrassingly hammered home. The points they were making felt natural in the story and felt like it was delivering some good kind of morals, but not in a too much of a preachy or a prickish way. But yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, the actors. The actors saved it. Yeah, any of those sort of things that could have been cringy.
Yeah,
let's all be friends or whatever was just delivered so earnestly and I really recommend that. It was a good watch, well worth. And it says they're not doing a sequel. There is a series of books. I think there's 4 books or 5 books. It says they're not doing a sequel, which is a shame because
if more people watch it, you never know. If it gets them viewing figures,
go and watch it. The School of Good and Evil on Netflix. 3 stars.
3 stars. Okay, it's logged. 3 stars logged for the letterbox. Thank you, Jimmy the Saint. I think that's everything. Unless anyone else wants to mention something or has anything to get off their chest. Lacey.
TV show that's very fun to watch that I binged in like 2 nights Has Been Hotel, that's on Amazon. Animated thing. It is the daughter of Satan trying to run a hotel to help souls so they can go to heaven.
What's it called? Sorry,
Has Been Hotel.
has been. Sorry,
I think it's HAZ as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think yeah.
Yep. Has been, yeah.
And it's got song. If you've ever seen Star versus the Forces of Evil, which is a Disney cartoon, it's that style thing, just with much more violence, swearing, drugs, and sex and booze. And I
nice.
fucking loved it. And yeah,
Yes.
I outwardly belly laughed like 3 or 4 times in the first episode, and I was like, right, we're in for the whole season. It's only like 8 episodes. The cleaner is the greatest character ever as a crazy little psycho. It is amazing.
It's called an animated style, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've seen this come up on Prime and gone,
Me
what
too.
is this? I thought it was like a I thought it was a Batman affair. I thought it was like a Harley Quinn sort of thing. When I just saw the picture.
It is similar to the animated style that they've done for the Harley Quinn TV show. But yeah, very, very good. And definitely not for kids. Unless, you want your kids to know about, gang rape and sex acts and Satan.
No. No one should want that, Chris. Who are you recommending that to?
As long as it's not a kid, it's fine.
Anyone that isn't a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Has been
Well,
hotel.
I was going to say, while we're doing some very quick hits, as we're doing flying visits, for you guys and anyone watching it, while we're on Prime, and I did mention it earlier, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the TV show.
Oh, yes,
I had very little expectations going in because the movie is the movie.
Awful.
Like if you liked it, good on you. But I couldn't ever imagine that there'd be a great TV show made off it. And when I heard Donald Glover was doing it, I kind of went, oh, I'm curious. Love his music, love everything I see him doing acting, love Atlanta, love him in Community. And I kind of watched the first episode thinking this could be a car crash, a really average concept with a really talented creator. I watched I think it's either 8 or 10 episodes. Watched all 8 or 10 episodes in a row. Just could not put it down. Absolutely loved it. And it does stick to that premise of the movie. It is about 2 people being a Mr. and Mrs. Smith who work for an agency, and they have to do kind of agency jobs like murder people or like the spy sort of stuff, and it flies around the world. But while it's doing it, you get to know them, and you get to kind of they expand on the Mr. and Mrs. Smith universe. Who thought that would ever be a thing? But yeah, absolutely fantastic show. And the cast just knock it out of the park. And that has loads of rando appearances by you'll just be sitting there and all of a sudden Paul Dano is their next door neighbor and things like that. It's got like a really kind of wide and varied cast to it.
Nice. I have seen it come up, but obviously I was so jaded by the Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie.
I was with you on that, Jimmy. Absolutely. It was purely Donald Glover, and I went, give it a go. And I thought one episode and I'm probably out, but no, absolutely loved it. And really, really quickly, last thing you said about best movie of the year so far, Lacey, Poor Things. Last week I went and saw The Zone of Interest, which is I think it's up for an Oscar. It's certainly up for best international, but it's a UK-made Jonathan Glazer movie, and it is about a family that live outside of Auschwitz. And when I say outside of Auschwitz, they had their house backs onto Auschwitz, and it is Auschwitz during that time. And
how did they sell that house to them?
Well, he's the commandant of Auschwitz. And
it's not the best estate agent of all time.
No. But effectively, the movie is you watch that family live their life. You never go into Auschwitz and see what's happening, but it's about a family live. Most of it's based in this garden, but all the time where they're living their life and they're doing their day-to-day family things, you're hearing in the background I'd say the horrors that we know they are going on. But it is not only my favorite movie of the year so far, but I think it's one of those ones that will stay with me forever. I just think it's an absolute masterpiece. And part of the thing that makes it a masterpiece is, and I know this isn't selling it as a pleasurable experience, but the whole time you're watching it, it just rocks you to the core. Like it just makes you kind of consider and think about what was going on. And partially, I guess one of the really sinisterly clever things about it is it reminds you that horrible things happen in the world whilst lots of people are going about their daily life. But yeah, just an absolute masterpiece of cinema. On your scale, I give it a 10 out of 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, talking about masterpieces, I'll just do one quick one. Masterpiece I watched with my youngest, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Do you know what? It was great. It was great fun.
It is definitely the least bad Transformers movie, isn't it?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
For starters, you've got a good actor as your main protagonist. Can't remember the chap's name. He was in Hamilton.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either. But...
Can't remember his name, but he shits on Wahlberg and Buff, and you actually care about him and his family. Like he's got a young brother with sickle cell who he's trying to look after. He's trying to get a job. His mum's struggling. So you actually care about him.
Anthony Ramos is his name.
Him.
Yeah.
Rather than in the other films, where you don't give a shit about Shia LaBeouf and his Megan Fox girlfriend or Rosie Huntington shits or whatever she's called, and you don't care about Mark Wahlberg, the overbearing dad to the really hot daughter. Like you don't care. Whereas this, you actually give a shit about the people involved, and they make Optimus Prime actually look like Optimus Prime.
Yeah, it looks like G1 Optimus Prime, doesn't it? It's such a pleasure to see, rather than that monstrosity that they did for the other movies.
Yeah, Pete Davidson does a good turn as Mirage. He's decent enough. Peter Dinklage as Scourge, the main villain, is great. And it's a simple story that makes sense. Ron Perlman, Michelle Yeoh. I thought you could actually see what's going on. In the Michael Bay ones where the Transformers are fighting, you're like, I don't know who's fighting who.
Yep.
I don't know who's good, who's bad. This is an assault on all of my senses. In this, you can actually see who's fighting and actually care about the Transformers. I thought it was great.
A beautiful win as well. You said about Scourge being like the main villain, is that jump back to characters that they introduced in the Transformers the animated movie. And it made me really connect with it, because I'm kind of going, yes, that was the Transformers I liked. And you're actually bringing some of the stuff from the Transformers I liked into what up until this point had been an unholy mess of disgusting bullshit. Yeah. But yeah, I'm with you. It's decent.
Which nice is saying something for a Transformers movie. It's nice that it's a prequel as well to all of the Bay ones, so that none of the army are involved or anything like that. And then at the end, you get a lovely little Easter egg where your main character gets signed up to join G.I. Joe. It was like, hey, G.I. Joe. It was good. It was great fun.
Well, to be fair, I mean, I enjoyed Bumblebee. Have you seen Bumblebee? Yeah,
I haven't. Right. I've heard it's good.
Yeah,
and this is a sequel very similar. Bumblebee, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think if Kiss you like Bumblebee, I think you'll like this, Stu, because I think this is going more down the line that Bumblebee was going, trying to move away from the Michael Bayness and trying to kind of forge its own Transformers path.
Yeah.
Have you not seen it, Stu?
Not this one, no.
Oh,
I think it's on Amazon, isn't it?
No, it's on Paramount.
Oh, yeah, Paramount. Yeah.
I thought you were mocking me because you had seen it. Right?
No,
Stu, you'll love it. Watch it. It's good fun, honestly.
You know me, probably
you
will.
Love the Marvels.
I'll sneak a bit of
the best thing you've ever seen.
I'll sneak a bit of comic book thing because we haven't done a comic book one for ages. And the last time we were doing them, I was berating Lacey for this. But they've recently, Image Comics have recently got the license for Transformers. And I think there are 5 issues in now, so they've done a new Transformers comic, and the guy who does it, this bloke Daniel Warren Johnson. Me and Lacey read something by him called "Do a Powerbomb." He did a wrestling comic last year, and it was amazing. It really felt like proper lucha wrestling, but they're giving him the Transformers, and it is great. But the thing that reminded me is, what you said there about the nod at the end of the movie to G.I. Joe. They've integrated G.I. Joe into this universe as well. So now they're starting to release G.I. Joe. There's a Cobra Commander comic coming out. But yeah, really good. Like
the
really
Hasbroverse.
Well, the thing is not only has it got like the nostalgia, but they actually, you can tell the writer loved it. And I think that comes through, doesn't it? If they like the property, you kind of, I don't know, you get a bit more oomph out of it. But yeah, the Transformers current comic is bloody brilliant.
That's it.
With the G.I. comics, Thundercats as well.
Haven't read it yet.
Issue 1 came out this week. I haven't picked it up yet.
Cat's holy. It's like another world.
With the GI Joe movies as well, they were a load of shit. So if they announced a new GI Joe movie coming out, I wouldn't care. But at the end of a Transformers movie, slipping them a card that says GI Joe, and I was like, "Oh,
well,
what's
and
this?"
as you said, he was brilliant on screen, wasn't he? So you kind of go, would I watch another GI Joe movie? My gut is no, but if you say, would I watch one starring him? Yeah, I'd be down for that. Made by these guys.
Yeah, check it out. It's on Paramount.
Oh, interesting stuff. We mentioned comics. I knew my audience, and I brought some comic news for you. It may divide certain members, but did we know it's the 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace this year?
Well, never heard of it. What is this Phantom Menace you speak of? I refuse to acknowledge its existence.
And Disney are expanding the lore. We know how I love a bit of lore. Expanding the story of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, in a comic celebrating the film's 25th anniversary. Now, these may be names that you guys may know, being comic aficionados. Greg Pak. Do we know who Greg Pak is?
He's a brilliant writer. He really is. He's X-Pac's brother and a great comic book writer. He is really good. Yeah.
So revealed on writer Greg Pak's website, the comic is a one-off arriving in May, but no specific release date has been offered. May 19th or May 4th, Star Wars Day, are likely candidates. But he says, big news, I'm writing a huge anniversary special for the Phantom Menace, drawn by Will Sliney. Forgive me for
him. I don't know. He's a newbie to me, so I can't help you with pronunciation.
Okay, that's fine, thank you. But he says, if you've been enjoying my Darth Vader series, you absolutely don't want to miss this deep dive into the heart and soul of young Anakin. This huge issue will tell revelatory stories, according to its official synopsis. Explore the earliest days and secret inner life of Anakin Skywalker with never in his first 7 years.
Explore the finding his dick.
And secret inner life of Anakin Skywalker with never before seen revelatory stories set before, after, and between the scenes of the classic movie.
Basically showing him how to have a force wank.
Yeah. Oh, imagine that. That's great.
Yeah. You know, you got a Kofi. I kind of want Miss Phoenix to have a Kofi, so I'm going to that for 25 years since Star Wars went down the toilet. Get her on the show.
I have asked.
We can all get together and destroy Star Wars, or just talk about when they destroyed it themselves.
See, Miss Phoenix, you would be an honorary We can call it Renaissance People. We can change the title just for you, but yeah, you do need to come on. But anyway, is that floating anyone's boat? I know we all mostly
that era is gross, and it is gross. But and I think you've read the first volume of the Marvel Star Wars, haven't you, Stu? Me and Lacey read a few volumes of it, and I've sort of carried on. I'm still about 4 years out. That stuff is brilliant. They really do manage to capture Star Wars, the original trilogy, when they do it, and you really do. I mean, there's often times where I sat there thinking, why don't they let these dudes write the movies, because they really are in it. So as much as I hate that era, the fact that it's these guys, like the creative teams who are doing the comic books now, kind of makes me go, okay, can you make me not hate a Phantom Menace time? I don't know whether they can, but
do you think you could watch Phantom Menace and pause it at points and read the bit of the comic, and then go back and just fill in the gaps?
Yeah.
You know, you said about the kind of trial being revelations about Anakin, and all I was thinking is can they reveal that he's not the prick that they make him out to be from child up to grown up in those movies?
If someone comes and says you need to be a prick, he's pretending this whole time.
Yeah.
You will be a prick.
Yes,
it was. Force thingy.
But yeah, no, I will probably pick it up, but it will probably take me about 8 years to get to it in my reading order of Star Wars. I'm so far behind on the Star Wars stuff.
I think it's interesting. I thought it was interesting because it was a comic story, and I know, Sen, you don't like those films. I don't think probably most of us don't like the prequel era stuff. I'll
watch it.
Yeah. I was going somewhere with this. Oh yeah, that's all right. I wondered if my thought process was, can they redeem the irredeemable? Can you redeem the Phantom Menace by expanding? I don't know. It feels like you're
the
expanding.
prequels have been redeemed quite a lot. over the last few years. Like people have grown.
What, by making worse things? Is that how they've been
That's
redeemed?
it. That's what. Oh my god, that is it. I didn't realize that's how they've done it to me.
Mhm.
No, but they've it's sort of got to the point now we've gone, they're okay. Do you know what I mean? Because when they came out, you're like, yeah, and then they're like, oh no, these aren't Star Wars. And then as the time's gone on, you're going, they're all right. And you're right. And then they've killed Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and stuff, and you're like, oh, they weren't that bad. Jesus Christ, look at this shit.
Do you know what though? Like, I'm totally with you because I do think some people are like that. But I am that foolish person who I know I don't like them, but I do regularly watch them again just to see if I was wrong. And I've gone the other way. I despise them more and more. Like they are worse and worse the more I watch them. But
what do you mean you don't want to know about the diplomatic trade agreements? Tatooine.
I don't actually mind that as an idea if it was about 30 seconds of it, because it's the throwaway line, isn't it? Like running in the background. But yeah, for that to be 45 minutes plus of chatting, terrible.
Yeah, that is weird, isn't it? When you look at the first few films, there's no politicians talking for ages about.
No, they just get blown up by a Death Star. That's what you want, isn't it? You go, there are politicians talking over there, and all you need to know is they're going to be dead in a minute. That's what you got from most other movies.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, you fought with my father in the Clone Wars. You're like, oh, we're going to get wars. We're going to get the Clone Wars. We're going to see them, and then we didn't. They did them in cartoon, but it wasn't as good. And they balls out, didn't they?
That needs highlighting. Luke Skywalker crying on his lonely island, sucking on a teat.
Yeah.
That was so the sequels. I do prefer the sequels more, and I prefer the prequels. I'll be honest, but it's really hard to, isn't it? Because of moments like that. That there are so many bad, floaty, glowy Leia, like coming back into it, and things like that. And you just go, this is so hard to like the sequels because of so many bad Disney decisions.
The Force Awakens, I thought was great. I thought they did a great job there and really captured the spirit of the first film. And Han Solo was great, and I didn't mind when they killed him off at the end of the first one because I was like, okay, it gives a reason for it to carry on. But then as the films went on, it made the first one worse, because I'll always go back to the fact that we didn't get Han and Luke and Leia in a scene together, and they could have done that in a flashback when everyone was still alive. It didn't matter that they had killed Han in the first film. They could have done a flashback, but the most basic thing they could have done, I'll say that every time, it's criminal that they didn't get them together in the Millennium Falcon.
So we're like, I'm with you on Force Awakens. I really loved it, but it's when it came out, and I have continued to have my love for it. But I think the thing that reminded me so much of A New Hope, and not just the fact that it borrows storyline beats, because obviously it does. But it was BB-8, it was Rey, it was Finn, and I kind of went. Poe, I like all of these, and I'm really intrigued to see where their story goes. Probably in the same way as I was when I first met Han and Chewie and Leia and stuff like that. And I just felt that as the movies went on, they become more and more background noise. I mean, I know sort of Rey still stays in there, and actually sometimes I think the pushing the old characters, and I never thought I'd say this because, I love the Han Solos and all those, but I felt pushing into the forefront a bit, pushed these new characters to the back. So then I stopped caring about them. And then over the course of those three movies, you're effectively, you're either killing them off or you're going, we killed them. No, we didn't. And I don't know, that's where it lost a lot of its momentum, because I did want at the end of Force Awakens to kind of go, okay, it's these guys' story now. Yeah. We don't have to follow the people we've seen before. And as you say, then we got that weird Luke Skywalker drinking from the teat of that space cow or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, the blue milk.
Yeah, they were just badly done, because there's ways of using those characters and not having them drive the film. You're right, having the young people, because you're right. Finn and Poe, what did they do after the Force Awakens? They didn't do anything. I didn't do anything at all.
And it was almost like the writers did the same, didn't it? It's like the writers kind of went, oh God, we haven't really planned what we're going to do with these dudes. And just sent one of them off to a weird casino planet for about 4
God.
hours in a movie. Yeah.
I think the
Waste of
biggest
time.
crime of all the sequels was how Finn was just pushed to the background, as you say, because he was could have been such an interesting character, and they could have done so much with him.
Yeah.
That idea of the stormtrooper who stops being a stormtrooper, brilliant, something new, something fresh, and then just kind of stood in the background a lot.
They just had him shouting Ray again and again and again and again.
I still remember it's one of my beautiful cinema moments, Stu, because I went and saw it. It's the last one, The Last Jedi? Whatever the last one's called. No, Rise of Skywalker or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just remember watching it, and I hated it. I thought it was toilet. But I was sat with you, and I know that sometimes you can be quite a Star Wars apologist. And I thought, will he like it or won't he like it? And we walked out the front of the cinema, and I remember you just turning to me and going, I'm going to go and sit in my car for about half an hour because I think we just killed Star Wars.
Oh, it is bad. It is. Yeah. It is and was and continues to be bad. That film really does. Yeah. Let's give DRB, who's in the chat, an air horn. Kyoto Whiskers. DRB, Renaissance Men alumni. Welcome to 200, DRB. Lovely to have you in the chat. We were just berating Star Wars. That's what we do. That's what we've probably done for the last 10 years.
200 episodes and we still ain't got over it.
Speaking of, how do I make this segue? Speaking of potentially disappointing sequels.
Nice. That does it. Yep.
Frasier, new Frasier, is back for season 2.
Wonderful.
So they've confirmed season 2. Jimmy.
Good.
I didn't know if he was going to be excited by that or not.
I'm happy, but that's because at the moment, Frasier Series 1 is still Schrodinger's cat to me because I haven't watched all of it. So at the moment, it is both brilliant and awful. I watched 3 episodes. I kind of enjoyed parts and didn't enjoy bits, but I'm getting ready to watch them all back to back. I've contacted my mum and dad. I've said we're going to do an evening where we do the whole thing, series 1, with beer and wine and snacks. So I'm excited about that. So I'm really happy there's a season 2.
Will it be erotic? Will it be erotic enough for your dad?
That's what I was thinking. Like, are you going to watch some porn after it's over? Some Niles porn.
Right. It's so weird. He's got really good taste in movies and TV.
We're not saying porn's bad taste. We're just saying he loves his porn, doesn't he?
Well, we all love Frasier. It's a big, family favorite. So I'm really happy it's got season 2. Even if season 1 I don't enjoy it, we can have another crack at season 2.
Have you watched it?
I'm scared. I'm scared of it because I'm with you, Jimmy. I love Frasier, and I know there's that nostalgia thing, but let's be honest, there's not been a lot of great nostalgia in the last 5 to 10 years. In fact, most nostalgia stuff is destroying those things we loved when we were younger. So I've been so scared to go near it. But one day, probably one night at 2:00 in the morning, I'll go, now's my time, and I'll pile in, and hopefully I'll love it. But yeah, I'm really worried about it.
Yeah.
Well, Stu, you've watched it all, the first series, haven't you?
All but 2 or 3 episodes. I haven't finished it, but what I've seen, it was all right. It's clearly not OG Frasier.
He's still brilliant though. In the 3 that I've watched, he's still brilliant.
He is still brilliant, and I think we had concerns about whether that formula, the canned laughter or the studio audience, and having laughter react to the joke, it seems to be an old-fashioned thing these days, doesn't it? But I think the formula still works. It feels like Frasier. Rodney is all right, which we had concerns about. We thought Nicholas Lyndhurst would be rubbish, but he's not too bad. It's one of the better things about it for me.
It's still an odd concept, though, isn't it?
It is.
It feels like such a weird disconnect of UK comedy. Yeah, but I don't know. Just
well, I think I imagine Frasier. I imagine Kelsey Grammer's never watched Only Fools and Horses. I can only think that. And then he met Nicholas Lyndhurst doing a play in London, thought he was hilarious, and said, "Who's this Nicholas Lyndhurst? Hang on, he's a sitcom royalty. Let's get him."
He watched a couple of episodes of Good Night, Sweetheart. That was the other one he did, wasn't it?
Probably. Yeah. And went, this is perfect. He's perfect for this. Not knowing that in England he is Rodney. Like he's not Nicholas Lyndhurst, is he? He's Rodney.
Rodders, yeah.
And now he's playing an Oxford-educated professor working at Harvard. Yeah, so it's the wrong casting. I still think, as I say, I haven't watched the rest, but They
I just
should have
looked at a picture of him, like up on the other screen, and yes, it's nothing but Rodney, and you can't see him as anything other than that, can you?
Exactly. It's all right as a show. It's yeah.
You want someone playing a blooming professor at Harvard, then you get your Richard E. Grant, or you get your Anthony Stewart Head, or you get your Nigel Havers, don't you? The Etonians or whatever, But obviously in America they don't know Rodney, so
Should have got Trigger.
you'd have been better off getting Trigger, I think.
Yeah.
Pardon me's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like let's acknowledge.
I'm glad.
Because Midge is in the chat. Hello, Midge. What should I give Midge? Air horn? Yeah, he gets an air horn. Hello, Midge. Another Renaissance Men alumni of shows past. Happy 200. Thank you, my friend. DRB loved Goodnight Sweetheart. I don't remember us ever discussing Goodnight Sweetheart.
I enjoyed it. No, I enjoyed it. Mostly the music.
Yeah, I'm with Lacey. Someone had to.
I wondered whether it fits into that era of TV where you didn't have much choice.
I was about to say the exact same thing.
Yeah, I do remember liking it, but I'm not entirely sure I'd like it if I went back and watched it now. And was it just because it was against Songs of Praise? That's why it was good.
I was going to say, it's up there at the time with like that and Last of the Summer Wine, shit for your nan to watch.
No. If someone said to
genteel
you,
comedy.
If someone just said to you, right, I'm pitching you a show. Rodney, yes, please. Time travel. I'm in. So what? It's like Back to the Future. A bit? Yeah, commission. Do it. But with Rodney, yeah, do it. That's ace.
Yeah. A bit missold though, really, wasn't it? I distinctly remember being really disappointed because at the time, Fools and Horses was massive, and then you get in Rodney. They're selling it as Rodney's next sitcom, and then you get again time travel, fantastic as you say, Jimmy. But then you let down by the World War II shenanigans and his awful wife from the present, who just wanted him to leave. It was all about adultery as well, wasn't it? Very strange.
I was going to say, there were some sinister overtones to it when you look back at it now, wasn't there?
Yeah. Well, he had the ideal setup, didn't he?
Yeah.
Go back
in time,
hang the hot lass, and then pretend that I've written all these songs that I didn't write. Brilliant.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, but yeah, he did.
Yeah. I'm going to watch it. You sold me on it.
Yeah. There we go.
Good night, sweetheart. Binge watch this weekend.
There you go. Frasier. I didn't actually see when it was coming. Let's find out. Season 2.
I'm chuffed. It's got.
Oh, they don't say. They don't say when it's going to be released. But look, keep your eyes on Paramount Plus. I guess that's all I can say.
Anything that's going to keep Kelsey Grammer and Hookers and Blow gets a thumbs up from me.
Yeah, Ewan McIntosh died this week. Sadly, that's one of the actors from the UK office.
Big Keith.
Big Keith from the UK. Very sad. I believe he'd been in a. Had he been in a home or something? I think it suggested that maybe he'd had a long-term illness.
He's been ill for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Very sad.
I spoke to my cousin today about it. He said he heard that he'd been ill for about a year. Yeah. How old? 50. No
50.
age.
So no age.
No.
But one of those kind of standout performances from The Office in a again another we've spoken about great casts all evening, but another great cast, but someone who kind of shone for different reasons, just how much of an oddball he was, and like some fantastic one-liners and ways just to kill a conversation in a very cringe-worthy show. Anyway, he had some of the most cringing moments in it, so he was very memorable in that show, I have to say.
Yeah, The Office was one of those things where it's the perfect cast in the perfect show, isn't it? And then you see him go off and do other stuff, and you're like, yeah, same as Only Fools, same as Frasier in a way, like.
Mm.
And I think the thing that made Keith so good was that having worked in offices, there are Keiths in offices. Like he felt so real because there are people. I mean, and again, like you said about the casting of The Office, the casting and creation of it is that these characters felt real because offices all around the country are full of them, including us. So yeah,
mm-hmm. Yep. One of us could be the big Keith. We don't know. We just don't.
All of us, I imagine.
Yeah.
Do you always guarantee every lovemaking session that the woman gets at least one orgasm and then eat a Scotch egg?
Absolutely not. No.
Certainly not. Yeah.
I'm not making that guarantee.
No guarantees here.
DRB. Oh crap! We've just broke the news to DRB. Sorry to do bad news, DRB. Apparently, DRB was meant to work on a pilot he was supposed to be in. That would have been.
No, he said I worked on a pilot.
Oh yes,
I worked on a pilot. He was supposed.
I wonder if,
to.
so was Keith meant to star in the project, DRB? Keith, I say Keith Ewan. Yeah, very very sad news. But like I say, he did have some amazing moments in the office.
He's live on forever. Left a legacy.
In that show, yeah.
Oh god, yeah, very much so.
I might actually watch the English one at some point. I've only ever watched the American.
No.
Have you watched the whole lot of the American? Because it goes to like 10 plus seasons, doesn't it? The American one.
Yeah, I've watched all the American one.
Yeah,
but never watched the English one.
The American one's brilliant, absolutely. But it's such a different show.
I'd be quite interested to hear from somebody who watched the American first, because most people I know have obviously watched the UK one and then transition.
Goes the other way, indeed.
Comparison of going on.
Huh.
Like that, and then that's where they divert off. But yeah, it'd be quite interesting to see what you think of the English after.
I imagine you'll find it slow and maybe a little bit dull at points.
Yeah, my money's on Lacey not liking it.
The American one started a bit slow, and then when they got in their rhythm, they don't try and do the mundaneness of an Office.
No,
it's just wacky characters in wacky situations, and it's heartfelt and it's great. Brilliant actors again. Great cast, and whereas The Office is about the mundaneness, the lack.
It's got a darker tone, hasn't it, as well with it? Like the characters are the unlikable characters are unlikable. Like I think that Brent, and I know that he's supposed to have his redemption at the end, but I think he's horrible. And he's supposed to be horrible, like, and I think it has that UK harder edge element to it of going. Some of this is really bleak, and I think it makes some of the laugh moments even funnier because you do sit there. There's extended scenes where it's silence, and you're just watching them kind of sat at the desk typing, and then something funny happens. And I don't know, it's the relief that you need. But I was always a bigger fan of the British than the American one.
Yeah. DRB goes on to say, I was doing music for a show called For the Love of Ella that was over a decade ago, and it never made air. The Love of Ella. Interesting. Ms. Phoenix, I am the big Keith in my office. I get shouted at for walking down the office with a cup of tea in each hand and a muffin in my mouth.
Ms. Phoenix, do you always guarantee your lovers at least one orgasm? It's a big piece. Most memorable moment.
My final story.
Before we go on, can we just ask?
Yes, of course.
When you say you've got a cup of tea in each hand, is that both for you? Are you double teeing?
That's a good point.
Because I've never thought of doing this because I just have one tea at a time, but I quite like the idea of having two teas on the go at once.
Double fist and a tease, yeah.
I tell you, when you do that to hold the tea and bite a muffin, you feel like the Ultimate Warrior. That's sign language for the Ultimate Warrior.
If you like. This is again news that could divide certain members of the audience, and that is Gareth Edwards. He of Godzilla. What else did he do? Rogue One. He is being touted as directing Jurassic World 4.
Do we need another one?
No,
I don't know. I don't think so.
I
liked the
first one. I liked it when they brought it back. I thought that was a good reboot. And then I didn't get round to watching the second one. I think I watched bits and got bored. And I haven't even hit the third one. I understand there's big locusts in it. And now it's like there's a fourth.
It's shit. It's absolutely rubbish. But I'm thinking...
My brain just caught up. So I'm thinking, haven't we had 4? But this is Jurassic World 4, isn't it?
Yes.
Because Jurassic Park then went into bit slow. My bad.
No, that's fine. And I guess my further two question is, where do you take, knowing what happens at the end of Jurassic World, whatever it's called, spoilers, we are coexisting with dinosaurs now on planet Earth. Where
I'm glad you gave the spoilers because I couldn't remember how it ended. So thank you.
Yeah, nor did I. What happened?
well, I don't know how we get to the point, but dinosaurs
Cats and
are
dogs living together.
exactly. Yeah. Like, they're kind of on the same scale as you go to Kenya and there's some lions. They're
Right.
on they're just out there just for people to. We're coexisting with them.
Right. Okay.
But where'd you go from there? Like that's kind of the ultimate end game, isn't it? Like, do you reboot Jurassic Park? I don't know. What do you do?
You go Rambo, or no, more likely Turok, and go dinosaur hunting.
Oh, Lacey.
Okay.
Lacey.
I just saw DRB's comment as well. I like that one even more.
They revive Richard Attenborough. Yes.
What? And the dinosaurs are in a park going round looking at Richard Attenborough.
Looking at Attenborough's, yeah.
And the Attenboroughs
Massive
escaped.
giant Attenboroughs, little Attenboroughs, yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Attenboroughs are going wild, they've escaped. Dinosaurs terrified, hiding.
Was it Wayne's World that had geriatric park and there was just a massive old geezer with a
Zimmer frame.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. I don't know. I Gareth Edwards doing a dinosaur film could be quite good. I wasn't a massive fan of his Godzilla, but I could see where he could take some of that style and some of that film and transfer it over to the world of dinosaurs. I don't know.
I think they've passed their time, haven't they?
Let's put it this way: I can't remember the third one came out. It must have been just before or just after the end times. But I took the boy to the cinema to see it, and he, as target audience, as someone who loves dinosaurs, was like, "Well, that was boring."
That's a worry, isn't it? That is a worry.
I'll do this bit really, really quickly for because I want to get into it. But I think I am a well-known Jurassic Park hater. I hate the first movie, and they just get worse from there. And Jurassic World takes it to an even lower low for me, and the movies beyond that. However, I'm actually interested in this because I love Godzilla. Gareth Edwards ones. I think Monsters is an amazing movie that he does. Rogue One's a brilliant Star Wars movie, one of the only brilliant Star Wars movies since. And then recently I watched his latest one, The Creator, and I thought that was really good as well. So yeah, I'm finally interested in for the first time, I'm interested in a Jurassic movie since I had to sit through the first one.
How can you not like the first one? The first one was great.
Because it's bullshit. It's just got pretty dinosaurs in it.
Jimmy, you've been
That's it.
This is well-trodden path.
Sorry. Let's not go back. I know it's episode 200. Nostalgia arguments.
Yeah, go back and watch whatever episode that I made about. But yeah, I mean, but I know I stand alone, and most people love it. But yeah, this actually really interests me because I do think the guy has shown that he can do Star Wars, he can do monster movies with Godzilla. So he seems to be able to treat other people's franchises quite well. So yeah, good boy, make a good one.
Miss Phoenix. I want dinosaurs, the old 90s TV show.
Puppets.
Do that.
I'll be up for that. Yeah.
Love a good puppet.
I'm with Miss Phoenix. I want David Attenborough lathered in amber. Thank you, Miss Phoenix.
Sexy.
You can watch that one with your dad.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I just don't know where you take it. That's the issue. You're right. Good director,
but you need a good story.
Yeah. And let's hope. Let's hope that he's got a good idea. Let's hope he's not just this isn't a cash grab. Let's hope he's come to it going, this is the Jurassic story I'd like to tell.
I'm trying
but yeah, please let it be a Park of Attenborough's. Oh, please. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do, because you can't do like a dinosaur love story. Like they've all been done. All the monster movies have been.
What are you talking about?
Done. Well, like
dinosaurs falling in love.
Yeah, dinosaurs falling in love. Like what do you do?
Jurassic erotica.
What's the one that's all filmed on video camera?
Cloverfield.
Yeah, I loved that film. I thought that was great.
Big fan as well.
Yeah.
Like I don't want them to do that because it's been done already. But if that was a dinosaur film, then I go, well, that was an original version of the Jurassic Park style movie, But I don't know what else you can
Avengers.
do.
Yeah.
Make the dinosaurs superheroes kicking the ass of evil dinosaurs
Yeah, let's keep
And
going.
aliens.
And aliens. Fucking alien, Ian.
I don't know whether they're still alive, but I quite like the idea of dinosaurs finally getting those kids from the first one because they were awful and they deserve to die.
Yeah, that's the whole film, just them
Yeah.
eating the kids.
It's
from the first
like
one.
Jaws 4, The Revenge. you kind of dive into that world of it because this is Jurassic World 4, isn't it? So yeah, they finally Michael Caine can be in it as well, and away you go.
I feel like I've just seen dinosaurs do everything interesting. Like I'm trying to think of other monster movies I've like. I quite enjoyed The Meg. I thought that was good fun, and I'm excited for The Meg too. But there's nothing left to do with them.
Isn't like weirdly The Meg? Hasn't that got a really good director? Or am I just imagining that?
Yeah, no, the Meg 2 has got someone who's like known for much better spins.
Scorsese.
Oh, it's Ben Wheatley who did things like Kill List and stuff like that. Some amazing kind of indie, edgy horror movies. And yeah,
Right.
directs The Meg too. So yeah, I'll be joining you on watching that.
Oh yeah, I think there's a bit where Statham's on a jet ski with a harpoon gun. Sounds great.
Yeah. What more could you want?
Yeah.
It's hot takes time. Have we got time for hot takes? Do you want to do hot takes?
Yeah, let's do one. Come on.
Yeah. Well, let's do hot takes. Hot takes. Hot takes. Oh, let me just. Oh no, that's fine. I'm covered. That's good. It's fine. Hot takes. It's what you guys know. You guys do this better than we do. It's where we react to things, but not quite as competently as you.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, no, trust me. I have to work with Jimmy. It's.
Huh?
I've bought Civil War trailer 2 to the show this week.
The Marvel film.
No, do you remember
Captain
Jimmy?
America.
We did the teaser trailer. You know, Kirsten Dunst, Jesse Thingy Bobby.
American Civil War.
Yeah.
Republicans
Yes.
and Sons, Jimmy.
Yes, I like the look of. Yes. Pow, pow,
Yes.
pow. I like the look of that.
See?
The South will rise again.
Yeah.
Yes,
all
we
that.
will.
So this trailer.
Southeast of England will rise again.
Quite right. This came out a couple of days ago, and I saved it because I thought it'd be a good one to bring as a further 2 from our previous reaction. So, Seddon, you seem to be quite enthused by the thought of Civil War.
Yeah, I saw the
Garland
the
and all
trailer
that?
as well, and great creatives, and the company that puts out A24, and I know like it's kind of the movie studio that if I see they're releasing a movie, I will always watch it. Don't always love everything, but I think they give a lot of time and attention to movies that are probably doing things a little bit different, a little bit more interesting. And yeah, American Civil War. Who doesn't want in on American Civil War?
No, I love the concept. I loved the imagery from the first trailer as well. It looked very gritty and like it could happen.
At certain points, it almost felt zombie movie-ish, didn't it? With some of the imagery, it felt like the apocalypse had already happened, but the apocalypse being humans turn on humans.
Oh, that's right. We had Jesse Plemons in it as well, didn't we?
Yes.
Wonderful. Yeah.
That's who I meant. Right,
Yeah,
let's.
Jesse Ventura. Yeah, roll him. Come on, I got my gun ready.
He's got his gun. He's ready. Let's roll him. This is the trailer for Civil War. Trailer 2 for Civil War.
Citizens of America.
Yes.
People of the Florida Alliance. And the Western forces of Texas and California will be welcomed back to these United States as soon as their illegal secessionist government is deposed.
You don't know what side they're fighting for.
Someone's trying to kill us. We are trying to kill them.
Almost feels like some of it was real footage, doesn't it?
Yes, that's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing. It
Yeah.
looks. You're like,
What
yeah.
Trump wanted for January the 6th.
Yeah.
Trump. the
Hey,
movie.
Trump told people to not do that. So come on. He told them not to do what they did. He said, "Don't storm the Capitol."
I actually think I didn't enjoy that as much as the teaser. I don't
No,
know.
the teaser-
I really like that whistle bit though, and that kind of the moody spookiness and that bub 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 coming in the background. I thought that had some great tension to it.
I thought the whistling was a little bit on the nose, and I was wondering who did the whistling, and thinking maybe it was the director.
It wasn't the movies, it's me,
Oh, you really added something to that trailer.
Yeah.
Miss Phoenix
Stu's
says, I
so
wonder
good at reacting. I like to add stuff in.
Miss Phoenix says, "I wonder if she smiles in this trailer." I presume we're talking about Dunst.
Was she in there? Only very briefly, wasn't she?
She hasn't smiled since she was tricked into kissing Toby Maguire.
Poor girl.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. When you said Civil War, I was genuinely thinking we were getting a retelling of old timey,
a modern Civil War. A modern.
Confederates are. But we're just getting the Trump Confederates are.
Well, I mean, like it's a story that I think in previous sort of regimes, and obviously the Trump regime kind of escalated that, but often there's been stories because they've had a civil war. You often get that, and I don't know. I just think it's a really interesting and fertile ground, that kind of brother versus brother, but just people who live in the same country, how they can be torn apart by just I don't know, like a religious belief or a political belief. And I don't know. I'm hoping it's done like quite rapidly, where you see that escalation. Because I think we do live in a world now where shit escalates quick these days, doesn't it? Like 100 years ago, it would take a long time for that bit of information to get around the country. Whereas now, like social media, 24-hour news cycle, I think things can go from 0 to 100 a lot quicker now. And I'm fascinated to see what they're going to do with it.
As I said, it will be quite interesting because it's one of those. It could be a little bit too on the nose.
I was just going to ask that question. Yeah,
this is the thing, especially with President Pig's fucker potentially coming back.
Yeah, election year and all that.
Wasn't it Prime Minister Pig fucker?
No,
that was a UK thing rather than an American thing, wasn't it?
I wouldn't put it past Trump, but it is just. It's a little bit on the nose for an election year.
Is that where you reckon they've done it?
Isn't it how you tell it though, rather than like whether it's on the nose or not?
Yeah. Who is Ron Swanson playing it? Is he playing Ronald Brump in the film? Is that
I was going to say, because isn't like sometimes the point is to tell the story at a time when it's at its most pertinent, which is now, and possibly, unfortunately, by the time it comes out, the even more damage might have been done by the time that people watch this. But yeah, Alex Garland writing it is and directing it. Like last time he directed Men, which about 2 years ago, which I think is an amazing movie, and Annihilation. Yeah, sign me up. Nom nom nom. Get that movie in my belly.
Yeah, nom 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 indeed.
I think it looks great, but I do not think it's going to stop us from getting Trump
where he belongs, apparently.
Might warn us a little bit about the few months afterwards.
Because all the people smart enough to watch this film already don't vote for Trump.
I was going to say that it might warn us. Yeah, it's not probably not going to warn us, is it? Yeah. No. Maybe it should be an educational video handed around schools.
Coming April 12th to theaters. Experience it in IMAX. That'd be a experience in IMAX.
It will be.
Yep. And there we go. That was hot takes. Let's do the sting outwards. Hot takes. There we go. And with that, it's time to wrap this show up. Wrap up episode 200. It's been a blast. It's an absolute
Stu,
blast.
very, very quickly, before you wrap up, in a weird thing, I just had it up on the screen, Civil War. Alex Garland also wrote Devil May Cry video game.
Did he?
I have no idea. Like, again, like for someone who's written books and then movies. But sorry, wrap up the show. But I just thought, how weird.
Yeah, was that the DMC, the remake?
Yeah, it was the DMC one. Yeah.
You want a bench? Yeah, good old boy.
Perked up at the end.
It's good. He's all
Yeah,
right.
it's perked up. It's perked up to do
He
his
was there.
twice the 200, isn't it?
It's like,
It's my chance to shine. It's the get out of here part.
No, he's going. I've heard they're wrapping up. I hope I get my dinner now.
Not till Mum gets
lunch.
home, he won't.
No, that's very true. Let's wrap the show up in a second recall. And finally, it wouldn't be a celebratory show without some bird news for you. We know how we all like a bit of bird news. Ducks found waddling round Royal Bournemouth Hospital. Just
Awesome.
basically a comment on the state of the NHS in this country currently, where filthy vermin like ducks can just wander in and out of their own accord.
Do you know, I've been to
They're
the
the
hospital.
cleaners.
I've been
I was
to.
thinking, how did they get an appointment? Lacey's on death's door and he can't get one, but the Ducks have.
I've been to the hospital 3 times in the last 48 hours, and they were wonderful with us every time. And there's a duck pond outside, so it wouldn't have surprised me if a duck would have wandered in.
Wanted in to give some, I don't know, some mental health advice or something. Hospital staff found a pair of rather unexpected feathered intruders waddling around the corridors. The quacking pair were discovered exploring Royal Bournemouth Hospital, where they made a visit to the hospital's
Thoracic?
Jurassic.
Thoracic Park.
There you go. Thoracic World.
God.
Thoracic team, whatever it is. The hospital said the inquisitive ducks tried to wing reading directions to find their way out of the building, but needed a little help.
Dreadful pun.
Yeah, they were ushered out and led safely back to a lake in the grounds. This could be Colchester Hospital, couldn't it?
Yeah,
But,
there's a love. There's a love. We love going to see the ducks in Colchester.
the hospital said, "We are very lucky to have a gorgeous lake that is a great solace for patients, visitors, and staff.
But when
Part of
those ducks come in our hospital and try and take our jobs, then we kill them."
And I get Peking duck for dinner.
Yeah, and we eat their woo wings.
Lovely stuff. It makes sense. Doctors being called quacks now. That's lovely. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. DRB's been to the hospital in question and saw no ducks.
No.
Huh. Part of the hospital's attraction is our resident wildlife, including many beautiful and inquisitive ducks. So, although sometimes they can be a little too inquisitive. Fortunately for one of our incredible porters, who are always on hand for any event, was able to escort them from the premises. Well, they weren't that incredible because they let them get in the building in the first place.
They're porters, not security guards.
That's true.
Not bouncers.
That's the end of the story.
They wheel you around.
Well, I mean, I think that's the worst bird news we've ever had. I enjoyed
come
it.
on!
I
Should
enjoyed
have bought
it.
some to the pie. Jeez.
Duck walks into a hospital. I would have preferred if they would have done if they would have gone into like an operating room and started, causing trouble and pulling bits out of a person or nicking tools, nicking something. They just wandered in.
And then were escorted out.
And went like,
This is the bad news I want to hear about. DRB was beaten up by a swan.
This is great bird news.
That is good bird news. They can be quite vicious, can't they?
They can break a man's arm, apparently.
DRB, did they break your arm? So I'll pause as if
DRB, did you stay?
Oh, DRB.
Did they break your? Well, he's only got one arm. He's struggling to type. Hold on.
Yeah. Give us the background on that. That could save this bird news.
And if it's on a news site on the internet as well, that'd be even handier. We can put it on the screen.
We argued over money. We both ended up hurt. Okay, yeah. That's usually the way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Usually the way. Oh, there you go. That was bird news. My second story, this concept continues to intrigue both myself and my colleagues at work. We often speak about this, and it was funny that it was brought up during the week's news from the Metro. Wow. Woman pockets £94,000 in sham maternity benefits after faking 17 pregnancies. Now,
Nice.
the reason we discuss this at work is,
I think I just got to the bit that you discuss it at work as well.
well, what you could quite easily do this, surely. Like I could, there's
Can
evidence
we?
this can exist. Yeah, I think so. I think you could make up a pregnancy and birth and get yourself. It's an elaborate way of getting yourself a couple of weeks off, but I think you could do it. Don't you?
So
I
can you
think
tell
it's
us what
possible.
happened? What'd she do? I'm not going to
What?
read it. What'd she do? How'd she do it?
Oh, there is one bit in there, Jimmy, which says she's also accused of using pillows to give us.
Brilliant.
Yeah, really living.
Hang on. How did she get? Look, I want this 94 grand. What do
Well,
I have
let's
to
go
do?
through the story. An Italian woman has been jailed for falsely claiming to have had 5 children and 12 miscarriages, so she could pocket more than 110,000 euros in maternity benefits. Barbara Loelle, 50, was accused of fraudulently making a small fortune in state benefits, as well as racking up a considerable amount of time off work over a 24-year period, according to local press. It's the time off work that's got me hooked. Of her 17 purported pregnancies, she claimed only 5 were carried to term, resulting in children. Prosecutors said were never registered and have never been seen by officials or anyone else. Loelle claimed to have delivered her latest child last December. However, police said that they'd had her under surveillance through the preceding 9 months and the whole pregnancy was a sham. Prosecutors apparently said Loelle's alleged fraud was made possible by the theft of birth certificates from a clinic in Rome and other forged documents. Okay, so she's going a level deeper than I had considered. I was just thinking you could
Pillow up a
have
jumper.
Well, I'm not suggesting I'm the one that is pretending to be pregnant. I'm just saying I could say, "Oh, Amanda's pregnant." Look,
I'm glad your team have been talking about this, Jigs. This has been one of my office fascinations for years, and not having kids. I don't know. I know you can get paternity leave, and I don't know what justification you have to do. But obviously, if you're a woman, you can only be pregnant for a certain amount of time, whereas a man, you could be having hundreds of babies a year.
Ask Jimmy.
Can I rack, but with multiple different people, can I rack paternity leave up? And what sort of evidence do I need?
My lot give the dad 6 months.
There you go.
Where do you work?
Two people pregnant a year, and that's it. You don't have to work for the whole year.
Time.
Do that regularly.
Time them properly,
I'm telling you, I think this is an untapped.
Yeah, because you never have to give. You never have to give proof, do you?
No,
that's what I'm thinking.
Picture, just share a picture of someone else's baby. Yeah, Amanda's pregnant.
Oh, and as we said, like, if you're a woman, like we know there's medical things that would there's a certain amount of time. Whereas for us, could be 90 women in 90 days having your babies.
Lacey, if you get 6 months off, mate, you're missing a trick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just telling you, I think it's an interesting concept and one that should be abused more.
That's our next video: how to scam.
For that, yeah.
How to scam your employees.
How to never work a day in your life again.
There we go. That was episode 200 of the Renaissance Men podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure having the boys on again. Lacey and Sen, where can we remind people where we can find you?
Oh God, don't make
in my house.
Lacey, do it. You must know where we are. You do all this shit when we do our show.
No, because all I do is tell them to do the YouTube things.
No. Do you want me?
That's true. We are really bad. Yes, please.
Find on the internet. Just put in Sen Lacey Comic Stash or Pop Culture Productions. And
you do it, Stu. He's fudging it, man. He's fucking up.
Right, you can go to youtube.com/podcast productions. Sorry, youtube.com/pop culture productions. And you'll find the channel. Give them a like and subscribe. It'll brighten your day.
Pick a song and we'll react to it.
Yep. Yes, thank you both. Absolute pleasure having you on again to celebrate 200. We didn't do much celebrating. We just did a normal show. It
was a celebration, though.
Yeah, it was.
We turned up.
Yeah, we all made it. Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah.
Jimmy even put his trousers on just before the show, so I consider
did,
that
I
a
did.
200 episode. Yeah.
Below in the wing column.
Benjamin, you got anything to say?
Wow.
Like the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Benj. Yeah, anything to say to the audience? Give us a bye-bye. No. What have you been watching anyway?
Debbie Does Dallas.
Absolutely nothing.
That is a hardcore snob of you there, wasn't it? He was like,
Salty
I'm not interested in you, Dad.
Yeah, bless his heart. Go check out Big Egg Little Leg for more of that type of content. Only the finest dad son content. Yeah. Anyway, let's thank those in the chat. We've had who've had turn up. Miss Phoenix, thank you as always. DRB, Midge. Who else have we had?
Lord Doolin.
Lord Doolin was there. Thank you.
Neil J.
Neil
obviously.
J?
Yeah, Neil J. Thank you.
Rock.
Rock was there. Thank you, Rock.
Metal Maniac.
Metal Maniac. If I missed anyone out, then apologies. Apologies. But
Then
thank
they mean
you.
nothing to you.
Yeah, thank you to everyone who's liked, watched, supported us along the way. It's been a blast, and long may it continue. Had a last minute message. Miss Phoenix saluting us. Thank you, Phoenix. Right, that's that. Thank you for joining us. Until back in 2 weeks' time, because Jimmy is off next. I'll be doing a video game thing next Friday, I guess. Yeah, so join us for that and for the show in 2 weeks. Thank you all and goodbye.